Okay, I think I am live. Welcome to episode 718 of the Black Brain Trust. This is the Sapio-Males Guide to the Galaxy. Attraction, soulmates, twin flames, and karmic lovers. Oh my god, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we're going to see. I will be with you all just a sec. Just rock out for a minute, okay? Hey, okay, all right. So check it out. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, attraction, right? Attraction. Um, soulmates, twin flames, and karmic lovers. What's this about, right? And why, once again, is the brain trust talking about this? I don't know, right? I kind of don't know, but we are going to talk about it. Now, I'm hoping. Hold on. There we go. That sounds good right there. So I'm hoping Miss Real Life is not in cyberspace, is still around. Sheesh. I hit her up, and I'm on the West Coast, and we're late. I'm getting started late, and I'm hoping she's still around. I'm hoping somebody can drop a 1, 2, 3 if the sound, music, everything sounds okay before I kind of start blabbering. And I was hoping that she would still be around. Gosh, I'm on the West Coast, so sometimes I do these live streams, and it happens late, and I think she's all the way on the East Coast, and but I wanted to collaborate with her on this one, so hopefully she's still around. Renaissance man, you said 1, 2, 3. Welcome, brother. How you doing, man? Peace. Hope your Saturday evening is going well. Um, okay, so the sound's cool. All right, perfect. All right, so I guess what I'll do is I'll kind of go ahead and get started into my spiel. And like I said, Miss Real Life, if you're around, say something in the chat. I wanted to pick your brain on this topic. So if you're still around, let me know. Put it in the chat there. Sunday morning. Okay. Yeah, it's still Saturday night over here. That's what I mean, dude. It's like super late and you know, yeah. All right. So, what are we talking about this evening? Well, um, outside of the traditional um, methods of attraction that you typically hear in the, I mean, I'm not even going to say manosphere, in social media spaces, right? It's always these sort of transactional based sort of criteria, right? um Salary, status, who's your circle, your IG followers, right? All that kind of shit, right? However, like if you get outside of that realm, right? If you kind of move yourself outside of that realm, then we're dealing with sort of like kind of like the non-physical, right? Sort of like the non-physical. Well, wait, what happened there? There we go. So we're talking about like sort of like non-physical stuff, right? Right. We're dealing with non-physical stuff. Um, outside of the height, okay, push all that shit aside because this is a sapio conversation, right? So what we're looking at is maybe like the three different types of non-physical based attractions, right? That kind of occur. I can speak to this stuff firsthand, right? This is largely what I've dealt with because it's always one of these things where identity quakes occur. You know, you see a person on first glance, you think one thing, you start to engage with the person, all of a sudden you you're dealing with something else entirely, and you have to sort of reorient yourself in a good way because you're like, wow, this is intriguing. I did not realize this person was this deep, right? So, yeah. Renaissance man, you said what playlist is this? This is a specially curated playlist that I created just for tonight. You know what? Here, I'll just go ahead and post the link. I may as well, right? Because I like to share. I like to share. Like to share my music selections. How do I do this? Oh yeah, this is it right here. Here we go. And then let me. Okay, here. Let me post a link to this playlist. Do you guys like the sounds? Because I especially put this one together for this conversation here. There you go. All right. Emmanuel Briggs, you says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to yourself, sir. Peace. Hope everything's going well with you. So, yeah, you hear a lot about like all the prima facie type of modalities with regards to attraction, male, female, this, that, whatever, right? But what about the non-physical, the non-prima facie methods, right? So here's what happens in the non-physical, right? Sort of like in the sapio realm. There's basically three types. There's three types of attractions that happen. There's the soulmate, there's the twin flame, and then there's the karmic lover. Okay. We're going to explore each one of these, but I want to kind of get people who are listening familiarized with those three terms. Okay. Everybody's heard of a soulmate, and that's typically what it is that everyone is looking to pair with their soulmate, because that would be like the most ideal scenario, right? All right. So there is the soulmate. Then there's the twin flame. Okay. The twin flame is someone who mirrors you, not necessarily the soulmate. They don't. That soulmate doesn't necessarily have to mirror you. The soulmate is someone who basically pairs with you, like top to bottom. All the boxes check on both sides, right? That's what the soulmate is. The twin flame mirrors you, right? So there's an intense attraction to the twin flame. However, that does not necessarily mean that all the boxes tick or check out on either side, right? There's that aspect. And then there's the karmic lover. Now, with that's the most toxic form of a non-physical relationship. I'm saying not not non-physical based attraction. Let me get my wording right. Non-physical based attraction, the karmic. Okay, so that would be like two people that you on first glance would think that they were not compatible, but they're like off into some really wild, crazy sex shit. Okay, that's the karmic lover. Okay, so what we want to do here is break down like the three different types of, I guess you can say, sapio based relationship modalities. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this tonight. Okay, give me a second. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So, um, let me check the chat before I start going into this. This is, I don't know why the hell I thought to do this tonight. Okay, Miss Real Life, you're still not around. I so wish you were around. You could bail me out right now because right about now. Yeah. Emmanuel Briggs, peace, brother. Evan Duncan, what's going on, man? Peace. Okay, so we got some people in the house here. Karmic lover, heart lessons in relationships. Yes. Yes. That is exactly what it is, Evan. Okay. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig into these three types, right? Because ideally what we want to deal with is the soulmate. What a good portion of us oftentimes deal with is a twin flame of some type. However, twin flames don't necessarily mean full compatibility. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. And then what we have to do is then look at the karmic. And what that is that's basically sort of like hookup culture, right? And that has its own, that has its own can of worms, right? We'll touch on that. So let's do this. Shonda, hey, how you doing? Welcome. He says, saw you were live and I'm headed to bed. We'll catch the replay. Peace. Okay, no problem. You have a good replay and let me know what you think. Drop a comment. I appreciate you for dropping a comment in the chat. You have a good evening. All right. So, first what we'll do is we'll consult with the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition on a soulmate. Okay. A soulmate is a person who is perfectly suited to another in temperament. So that means that, you could be with another person and your temperaments match, right? See, so when one's frustrated or the other is frustrated, the other person may oh wait. No. I wanted to get my Mansur Brown on. And then we'll go back to some Yusef Latif. So yeah, tonight is a Sarah Mansur Brown Yusef Latif type of night. Okay, so just so you guys know, that is the selection for tonight's conversation. Yeah. So, soulmate, a person who is perfectly suited to another in temperament. Second definition: a person who is strong, who strongly resembles another in attitudes and or beliefs. So the the median term here is temperament, right? So that's basically a soulmate is where two people basically have sort of like a connecting temperament where no one ever gets higher than the other and vice versa, right? And they're perfect, their temperaments are perfectly suited. So that means that whether good or bad times, um, the temperament will suit each other in that time to get through the bad time, let's just say, or let's just say in the good time, there won't be any sort of discord, right? Let's just say, some people, whatever, they hit on a sudden sum of money, and then all of a sudden, right? It's not as if you know you don't know who this other person is anymore, because now all this money came in, you're like, wait, who are you? And this person just becomes who they really are. No, soulmates um, are of the same temperament, right? See, so your reactions will be the same, whether good or bad. Not only that, but probably how you'll think to move out of a bad situation into a better situation. You'll be in synergy and compatibility with regards to having those conversations late at night in the bed, like, how do we do this? How do we do that? Yada yada yada, right? So that's kind of how soulmates operate, right? That was definitely me and wifey when she was here. So I can speak to that, um, firsthand experience, right? So in a soulmate sort of setting or situation, those are two people who are compatible. So they're gonna tend to think, move, operate, maneuver in the same way, given given a similar situation, right? And when there's two people that are paired and who do that, you have a better chance of success for not only getting through those hard times, but also just forming a stronger bond as two people, right? Like when you go through a hard time and you come through it, when you guys committed to a solution to a problem to get through it and you saw your way through it, that forms a stronger bond, right? That's a soulmate energy, right? So soulmate energy is one type of attraction where you have like sort of like a all boxes checked type of attraction to another person, right? Then there is, let's see here. Wait, I thought I had this stuff all up, but I don't. Hold on one second. Uh, there we go. All right. Now, when we're talking about we just kind of clarified what a soulmate connection was, right? Then there's a type of attraction where it's essentially a twin flame situation, right? So essentially, a twin flame are two people who come from the same soul, right? So they're of the same. Let's say so. For example, if you take one candle, right, and you light it. Let's say you take a candle and you light it, right, and then you take two other candles and you put them to that one candle and you light those two candles, right? And now you have three candles lit. But that the second and third candle that you lit from that first one, okay, that second and third, those are twin flames. So they're of the same original flame. So what does this mean? Are they 100% compatible? Not at all. They could be 80% compatible, 70% compatible. But the thing about twin flames is that there's a I don't want to say a misunderstood. It's an unspoken type of attraction. Kind of don't know why it's there. right? But based on the twin flame concept, it's because you are of the same flame. You mirror each other, the good and the bad. There's a draw and a repelling at the same time with the twin flame attraction, right? That's like one tier below the soulmate attraction. And I would say that there's a good portion of people who largely experience the twin flame attraction, not so much the soulmate attraction, because the soulmate attraction, that is a very long term type of attraction. And what we are typically finding here is that a lot of people aren't really doing things in the long term with regards to that. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Okay. So a lot of people aren't doing a lot of soulmate type of relationship building and pair bonding. That it's more of the twin flame type. And I think it's social media that really does kind of enable more of the twin flame type of connections to happen, largely through the dating apps and stuff like that. Because all you have to do is just sort of read the right things in the profiles, right? And just upon reading it, there's a sense of, oh my God, yeah, oh my God, he so gets me. Or she, yeah, she totally, yeah, this is the one. Like you're reading a damn dating app profile, right? This is it's this is very it's prima facie, but on a twin flame level, it really has more to do with, you know, uh interests, right? Oh wow, she's into rock climbing and so am I, right? It must be meant to be. No, not really. We both like tattoos. Oh my god, right? No, not particularly. A lot of people who have tattoos, men and women, are in relationships and they end up breaking up and having like the worst of relationships, even though they have tattoos, right? So sometimes there is a false notion of a twin flame, right? Of a twin flame scenario. However, at the same time, there's the scenarios where twin flames work out. Why? Because you are of the same spirit, so to speak, right? So in that scenario, it can also be that regardless of the differences, right? It's the commonalities that are being focused upon. So with twin flames, they kind of go one way or the other, oftentimes, right? They kind of go one way or the other. I would say that in my own personal experience, I've only had one soulmate. Wait, let me take that back. Okay, one soulmate connection I can obviously say, right? And then maybe there's been another. I can't really say for sure, right? It's one of those things where I can't call it a twin flame, right? Even though there's some elements of both, right? I don't know. I can only say for certain that there's been one for sure soulmate connection, right? Now, whether, other things have been that, I kind of don't know, right? Because I'm sort of, me myself personally, I'm kind of evolving and moving, into this sort of new space myself, right? So there's a lot of things that remain to be seen, but just recalling past experience, right? Yeah, I can say that I've had both a twin flame, I've had a soulmate connection. I can also say that I've had a karmic lover. Now, this is the one that I would say that most people nowadays. Okay. And this is more um, aligned with hookup culture, right? So on the karmic lover side of things, that's essentially more on the carnal nature, right? You know, you typically kind of don't care like the mental or psychological disposition of the other person, and vice versa. They don't care either, but there's just something more carnal that draws the two together, right? To just do the whole carnal physical thing. The base level of a relationship between two human beings, right? That is the karmic lover, right? So there's three levels to this stuff, and this is kind of what I wanted to sort of dissect here, right? There's the soulmate level type stuff. Then there's the twin flame level stuff, and then there's the karmic lover stuff, right? And the question becomes like, what is your attraction language? What is it that you're typically falling in line with? Is it, do you find that you're typically attracted to that soulmate level type stuff? Is it more twin flame type, right? Which is kind of like maybe situationships and stuff, right? Or is it hookup? Is it karmic stuff, right? Which one is it? Like what level, or what is it that you're typically engaging in terms of relationship type? That's kind of the question, right? Like these are like what's the typical attraction measure? I mean, because like the main topic here is attraction. However, from a sapiosexualism perspective, these are the three criteria, I guess you can say, right? Soulmate level, twin flame level, karmic lover level, right? You know, because the sapio stuff works on all three levels. I can tell you firsthand, right? I've okay. I can't believe I'm literally saying this shit on a live stream. I've had, you know, my fuck buddies or whatever, right? But even with that, there is, say, sort of like a mentalism level that has to happen there. On a twin flame level, there's some mentalism that has to happen there, and on a soulmate level, some mentalism has to happen there. That's what I mean. So these three levels of attraction with regards to the sapio realm, right? So what we're looking to do is explore what it is that we've typically experienced. Which one is it? You know, I've experienced all three, right? I've experienced all three. I would say that um, prior to my first relationship with my ex girlfriend and then my marriage with my wife, I was largely on that third rung. It was more karmic, right? Mostly in my 20s, it was mainly karmic. And I would say since I've been single again, it's probably been a bit karmic again. And this is just in all disclosure and transparency. There's a number of reasons for that, right? A lot of social changes. Women are a lot different nowadays, right? This is one thing that I can say that I've noticed, right? Um, Typically, because there's this sort of what do we call this? Sort of like this poly element to everything, right? I guess it. So there's not much of a requirement beyond the karmic, right? It's very carnal. Okay, but what I find here oftentimes is that it starts there, and then there's something that's yearning right? There's a yearn for something more, but it can never be returned because the basis of it was very was karmic. It was carnal. It was very base level, right? Um, so there's a challenge, for say like somebody like myself, for example, in this sort of modern day kind of dating age, whatever the hell they're calling it, right? It's not as if I have like all this free time in the world to do this type of stuff. So whatever little time I do have, I try to make sure it's sort of like of quality, or it's at least something that's worth me taking what little extra time I have like away from, say, like going to sleep or hanging out with my daughter, or tending to my plants or something, right? Hopefully this time that I'm going to appropriate somebody else is worth it. And typically there's not, like I said, it's more karmic more than anything, right? I find that a lot of women nowadays are literally like cheating, right? They're in relationships, and right, that's what I'm saying. Like it's all base level. It's very karmic, very karmic. That's like a good portion of a lot of the transactions, at least from my experience, right? That take place, right? Kind of like in my realm nowadays, right? I'm not exactly the fan. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the karmic, because karma is a very real thing. In case people think that it's not, okay, right? Play with it and you'll see. However, this is largely the order of the day, because if you're doing sort of like a if the paradigm is poly, so to speak, then I guess what you have to do is sort of remove a multitude uh, moral and ethical barriers, so to speak, right, to accommodate all of this. So we're in a very different paradigm, right? So me personally, I don't prefer the karmic lover. I kind of don't prefer that. That a karmic lover is essentially a fuck buddy, right? And that's pretty much what you got out here. However, I kind of don't prefer it, but it is what it is, right? Let me check. Oh shit, real life. Damn it. You know what? I was just rambling. Hold on. I need you to come up here. Randomly, you can come up here too. I don't care. I not that I don't care. I'm just saying. I had literally contacted real life about talking about this, right? So yeah, if I can get some feedback, this would be awesome. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna kind of get out of my head what it was I kind of prefaced all of this on, and I was hoping I can then springboard off of that, right? But we want to touch on these various levels of, let's just say, non-physical attraction, right? There's the karmic lover, there's the twin flame, and then there's the soulmate. Okay. Um, so we talked about the karmic lover, right? That's what we were just talking about right now, right? The twin flame, typically, if you've ever experienced the friend zone, okay. Oh shit. Okay. How do I find myself being the guy talking about this type of shit? I'm so not like a game coach or nothing. You guys just have to understand. I'm literally just trying to like speak matter of factly about stuff, right? Don't take this as me being some sort of dating coach or something, because I'm not. Trust me, I have my fair share of challenges with all this shit. There's no way in hell I could convince you that I'm some sort of coach, right? So let's just make sure you guys aren't listening to me um, for like dating advice or something, okay? Because that's not what this conversation's about. Um, okay, so let me get back to what I was saying here. Um, so with regards to the twin flame, so the twin flame is sort of like the person that you're drawn to, and that person's drawn to you, and you guys have like literally no reason why. You're kind of like scratching your heads, like why are we always talking? Why like, dude, like you know what I'm saying? You ever have that situation with somebody where I would say that you're not physically attracted to them, they're not physically attracted to you, right? But for some strange reason, you guys cannot seem to like not deal with each other. That's twin flame, right? What do they call it? Um, they call it the odd couple, right? They call it the odd couple. Okay, that's a prime example of a twin flame, right? An odd couple, two people who completely mesh that you so would not think go together, right? That's like a perfect example of a twin flame. Um, and then I guess you could say a not so perfect example of a twin flame would be again, like let's just say two people that once again they kind of for whatever reason they find themselves drawn to each other, even though they're not going to do anything, right? That's like sort of like the quintessential friend zone stuff, which is not really a friend zone. That's the funny part. Like I can think of like two chicks, right, that I've known since middle school, right? And I would say we're kind of twin flames in the sense that there's never been anything between me and them ever, right? Never even a conversation between them. But for whatever reason, like we find ourselves in our mid 40s and we still on occasion check in. Hey, how are you doing? I was just thinking about you. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? How you doing? Right? It's not it could be something, but doesn't necessarily have to be, right? That's twin flame. You have the same sort of spiritual essence, right? It could be something and it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? This is where things like a platonic friendship become a reality. Like I don't know where people get that shit about, oh, you know, men and women can't be friends. I'm like, sure they can. I don't understand why not. You know, listen, I don't think every person is meant for me to go and you know every woman is meant for me that I encounter is meant for me to have sex with. Right? That's just not a reality. It's not realistic, and it's not something even that I'm interested in. Right? Some women have been brought into my life, right, for non-sexual reasons. Like, there's women that have been brought into my life, right, for the sake of my daughter. Okay, there was never anything that was meant to be any anything sexual or relationship based with regards to me and this person, but that person came into my life, right, to impact my daughter's life. See, so we need to have nuance. We have more nuance about why people come into our lives, why it is that we feel drawn to check in with certain people, see how they're doing, right? How we feel about one person, it's reciprocated back. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic thing, right? But there's a kindred energy. And like I said, that's twin flame. Twin flame can go a multitude of ways. Okay, karmic is largely sexual and it's largely dysfunctional and it's karmic. That's why it's called karmic. It's for a reason, right? So that's sort of like the base. Then you have twin flame. It can go in a multitude of ways, right? But like I said, I mean, this is that realm where I don't really think that people should say, well, men and women can't be friends. This. Listen, sometimes a person come into your life, if you're, and this is a sapio conversation, right? So this thing, we can mirror this. It can go both ways. Look, you could be a man, and a woman is meant to come into your life, right, to bring wealth. Okay, and the opposite is true. You could be a woman, and a man is comes into your life to bring wealth. It doesn't necessarily that okay, and it's a business type of thing. Doesn't it's not a related, it's not a romantic type of thing, right? See, there's different types of relationships, and there could be a twin flame element that could lead to these type of outcomes, right? Financial outcomes could be a romantic outcome. Listen, through through that type of relationship, you might meet someone else. Hey, let me introduce you to a friend of mine. He's such a cool guy. It happens. Sometimes you have to allow life to happen to you. And oftentimes that's where a lot of things that you may not expect happen through like twin flame connections and stuff like that. Right? So there's that. And I think a lot of us have had experience. A lot of us have had experience with that twin flame connection. I think a good portion of people by and large kind of deal with that today, or I think they may be under the illusion that they are. You know, social media has a way of fooling and tricking people. Based on like filters and the ability to be able to kind of tell a story without all the details. So I'm not a big fan of it myself. I'm not an Instagram person. I'm not huge on Instagram like that. I haven't posted on Facebook in forever. I'm still not on Twitter, even though I told Mike V I'll get on Twitter because I got to check out Black Twitter, but I haven't done it yet. Right? So, yeah, twin flames. There you go, twin flames. Right? Um, like I said, they could be perfect person. They could be the person that gets on your ever loving nerves, but for whatever reason, you find yourself being drawn to them. That's typically, once again, what a twin flame energy is. Okay. And then there is the soulmate energy. And I think that that is largely what it is that uh, everyone's trying to, everyone wants to achieve. Everyone would like to experience it. Okay. You notice these are like kind of graduations, right? Karmic, twin flame, soulmate, right? You go from the bottom to the middle to the top, right? And I think everybody wants that soulmate, a connection, right? The attraction of where it's like I've met my soulmate. Because that used to be a term, right? That used to be like a term. Uh, I would say like maybe in the 80s and stuff. Everybody would always talk about, oh, my soulmate, my soulmate, my soulmate, right? You don't really hear that term as much nowadays. I mean, hell, you don't even hear twin flame and all this other shit. You just basically hear what you hear what's the terms now is sneaky link, right? Sneaky link is one of the terms, and what's some of the other terms? uh side bit, and then side dude, right? Okay. And then there's yeah, you guys know where I'm going with this, right? So that's kind of the time we're in, right? Like we've kind of largely come out. We've been removed from the time of talking about things like pair bonding and soulmates and connections, right? Hell, dare I say that L word, which was the topic of the last Sapio live stream. If you guys go into the video library thingy madoo, right? When you go to the Black Brain Trust channel, you go click video. I think it's episode 716. It was just like maybe one episode ago. We talked about love, right? Lots of various emotions. Um, right? Where does that factor into these connections that we're talking about here? Right? Why don't we just go ahead and just connect the two live streams together here? Where does that LOVE stuff factor into these three classes of largely non-physical attraction measures, right? Karmic, twin flame, soulmate. Now, I would say soulmate, obviously, there's an application there. Totally. Twin flame, I would say love is a part of that. Um, there may be some level of unrequitedness. Shout out to real life. Her and I had a conversation about that, right? There could be some unrequited element to that, or it's not a um I don't know, it's not maybe it's the type of love that's not really, it doesn't really sort of fall in line with maybe sort of like the soulmate energy. But twin flame, like I said, twin flame could totally be platonic. It could. It could be platonic and then move into romantic. That twin flame stuff is kind of, ugh. I've been there before. It's not. I don't. It's not. I want to say it's not like the best energy or connection to deal with, but um, when you have like the soulmate connection, you know what it is, right? When you're dealing with twin flame, like I said, that there's a lot of friend zoney type stuff that can happen there, right? Because there's a lot of uncertainty and no one wants to say what's what. So you never know what's going on there. It's an interesting place to be, but not for long. You know what I'm saying? Manual Briggs, you said cut buddies. Okay. I'm not sure what point that came in. You said cut buddies. I'm not sure what point that came in on. But yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, there's a comment. Kenny P. I hate to tell you this, but love doesn't really exist. It's just chemicals in our brains that make us attached to a person. It fades over time. That's why people tend to fall out of love. Kenny P, I would invite you to listen to the live stream on love, because love is an acronym for lots of various emotions, right? We spoke to exactly what you're talking about. So there obviously would have to then be something more than just this chemical uh, impulse, or this sort of dopamine hit that we feel that is translated as love. No, you're absolutely correct. But I'm just saying, as somebody who is married and is now widowed, I can kind of take you through all of the steps, right? I would say that there's a point, especially if illness befalls your loved one. Who's on the phone back now? Okay, that's what's up. If you want to hit the link, Mr. Real Life, you want to hit you want to hit the link. You want to join me? That's all good. Come on, you come on up. But I would say that there's a time where shit gets real, so to speak, right? And then basically the mask comes down, and then you literally experience what real, like, quote unquote love is. It's a very raw emotion. It's not It's not that pretty rosy sort. It's That's not it. That's not it. So when you say love doesn't exist, I would actually have to push back on that and say yes, it does. It's just not in the way you think. You call it chemicals in our brain, right? That's what you call it. Let a loved one basically pass away in front of you. Is the emotions and the feelings that you feel just but mere chemicals in your brain? Is that what that is? Right? Or are you feeling something very real? Which one is it? I mean, after all, this was a loved one, right? Or are you basically convincing yourself, oh, you know what? I really didn't love this person. What I thought love was were just chemicals in my brain. I would say put that to the test, or don't do it. I've been put to the test with it. Just believe what I'm telling you. Yes, it is chemicals in the brain, but it is also a very real set of emotions. It's not one particular emotion. That's why love is broken down as lots of various emotions. It's real life.
Hey, Complex. Good evening.
Thank you for joining me. I'm so sorry it's so late.
Oh no, I love that. That's perfect. I'm happy to be here. I actually missed a whole lot. I had jumping in kind of like I didn't know what you guys were saying before, but I heard enough
Yeah,
to
dude, you
ride
know
the wave
me. I'm
there.
just I'm just literally just rambling.
Nah, good. Let's do that. Um, so how come it has to be like not posing the question to you specifically,
No, go
but
ahead. Go ahead.
I always wonder about the
Uh-oh.
part,
Wait, wait.
but it's almost
Wait,
like
wait, wait. Hold on, hold
yeah,
on. Please
okay,
don't give me issues with the mic. I'm not talking to you. You said,
okay.
how come it has to be and then it cut out? Can you repeat that, please?
Is it my end?
I think. Let's try it again. Go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question again.
Okay. I'm saying because like the polarized thought with the whole thing, like you said, it's both, right? So the chemicals as well as the actual experience. And then the thing is that I think the cart before the horse or whatever that saying is, right?
Hmm.
There's no reason why it should be whittled down to chemicals. And if we can pull those out, why would anyone say that that's like the first primary thing to look at? It may even be the heavier than the actual well, let's just say it's that. Like, what does someone get out of whittling it down to that?
I mean, it's kind of like, okay, because I guess from a very pragmatic sense, right?
Mhm.
If we're to look at like biologically how it is that our physical bodies like do things to then trigger the things that we feel, then I guess yes, it is a chemical, right? But why reduce the human experience down to a chemical, right?
Right. Like
Yeah, it's like
someone's trying to kill somebody, their adrenal glands go into overdrive, cortisol, there are a whole bunch of things are happening, right? But then norepinephrine, but then in that situation was because of good old norepinephrine. Like we never do it when it comes to things like that. Like it's always when it's something so beautiful. Let's strike away the beauty of it and just whittle it down to that.
yeah. I mean, no, I don't. I'm not a fan of literally just reducing the human experience down to like a hormone. Right. Well, you do realize that the reason why you felt happy that day is because you had like this type of hormone release. And it's just like, okay, I get it that that's what my body did to give me the sensation, but are you literally like trying to take away from the experience that I had? I was there with a bunch of people and I had conversations and it was all great, right? Like, don't take that part away from it. And
Hmm.
and don't take that part away and just go like, it's just a dopamine hit, right? Like, fuck. Okay.
Hmm. You ever heard of Dr. Mutwa Credo?
Wait, who? Wait, you said the pheromone what?
Dr. Mutwa Credo?
Oh wait, I thought you said like some sort of pheromone or some shit. Wait, Mutu. Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, he's
Okay.
like some sort of like African like witch doctor or something like that.
Yeah, you could describe him like that. He's a
Okay.
Zulu shaman, and so I think he was probably brought to like a lot of people's consciousness. His last name, the guy who talked about the reptilians in British Parliament or whatever.
Oh,
So
David Icke.
Ike,
That
okay, yeah,
yeah,
him.
that guy. Yeah.
So they like had a team up for a while. Well, not really a team up. It was more like David Icke was like, "Let me ride the wave of Dr. Mutua Credo and tell all you guys, like, hey guys, I know him. He's my pal or whatever. We go way back and shit." So like, but anyway, but what was really bugged out was, so the story is that as he was a kid, as 9 years old, he was like walking through some field, and some feelings overcame him. And this is how he describes his abduction by aliens, right? And he
Uh-huh.
says that he knows that they're basically to like a different dimension, so to speak, right?
Hmm.
And that they feed off of pure extreme emotion, right? Raw pure emotion. So that could be anger or love, however you want to think about it, right? Anything like really extra, right? They feed off of it. And so it's like hearing things like that, it's like, oh, we can, if we listen to that, and like, of course there's got to be some truth to something getting off on that extreme of feeling, right? Why? Because we can tell when it's happening that something is a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
And so if we boil like our experiences into like things like that, it's, to me, it's teetering, I guess, like make it seem like something sinister. I keep going back to that. Like it always just seems like this thing where it's like just taking away from the experience of it. In other words, if it feels good, right, and we know
Hmm.
that it's very organically so, why would it just be one aspect of that that should color the whole thing? Hence, the idea of basically belittling it or looking at it, and then
Yes.
right,
Yeah. I
right,
mean, no, like that's what I mean. It's like, okay, let's say if you were like hanging out with somebody, you guys went out, you decided you were gonna hang out and I don't know, go walk like along the river or some shit, riverfront or something, and you ended up just kicking it the whole day. You ever have that situation where you hung out with somebody and it was like one of like the best days in recent memory type of situation. You weren't.
hmm,
It was never anything that you thought was going to happen, right? But it
hmm,
ended up being that way. So, in the event that that happens, why then turn around and just go, well, you know what? This is all just like a chemical in my brain.
right. Good thing I'm not thirstier than this.
like, like why, like why, why would you
Good
do
thing
that?
there's no tidal wave about to take over everything, so I can really enjoy this thing here. Yeah.
It's like, no, 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 like just no. I don't know. I'm thinking that this is the reason why I wanted to talk to like I wanted to speak to these different levels of attraction so that what you're not doing is let's just say reducing it, right? You just reducing it because I think what happens here is that um, if you get in the habit of doing that, sometimes you prevent yourself from being pleasantly surprised,
Hmm. Like
right?
disenchantment, right?
Yes, yes, disenchantment. Yes, that is the word, right?
Mhm.
Um, um, we're just kind of like in this new time, right? Where so much is it's so prima facie and it's so this kind of app based sort of like your profile something rather I don't know, and it's not the actual right? Like dialogue, right?
Yeah.
It's not the actual conversation that happens outside of all of the crap where likes and comments happen.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
And dislikes and doxing also happens in the same place.
Jesus Christ, like I mean, if you're just on the phone with somebody, how the hell are you doxing somebody, right? Or who's getting doxed?
These people are crazy as fuck. They're just
Well, it's like, man, it's sort of like, you could. It seems like nowadays, like, okay, getting to know someone puts yourself at risk of being doxed. It's such a weird. It's so weird how it is that, and I'm going to say this, humans interact with each other nowadays. It's so inhumane. It's so backwards. It's like counterintuitive, right? All of this stuff is like completely just, um I don't know. I don't really know how to say it. That's why it's like the only thing I can really kind of speak to this stuff is that, um outside of that realm, there's like these three other realms, right? Like I said, soulmate, twin flame, right? Karmic, right? And when it comes to any sort of interpersonal interactions or relationships between, like, say, man and woman, for example, right? They basically are going to fall in one of those three, right?
soulmate, twin flames, or karmic. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, soulmate, twin flame, karmic lover. Karmic lover would essentially be your fuck buddy, right? Twin flame is going to be the person that you kind of, you there's an attraction because there's a lot of similarities. You may not necessarily be compatible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's these similarities. Like, we experience this, especially as Gen Xers, right? Do you remember that movie Kids?
Oh, very well.
Right? Okay, that was all twin flame shit. Right? None of what was going on in that movie like was people who were compatible with each other, but they were of the same sort of spirit and energy of that time, right? So there
It's
was
bugged out that you say. Slow down, Compass. If
no,
you
go ahead,
if
go
you
ahead.
would just, it's bugged out that you say that because even the existence of that movie represents that idea to me. I
Yes.
wouldn't have thought of it in those ways, but because I used to hang out in Washington Square Park all the time for a certain period of time, and that weirdo Larry Clark, he was down there recruiting. There was this guy. There were a few people like he kind of on like who's a wayward soul, who can I kind of grab into this sordid world, and they're going to be thirsty for fame or whatever it is, right? And they're going to
Mhm.
get into this thing. And it was so bugged out because the kid, I forget his name, but we call everybody kid in New York, says he's not a kid, he's a grown man, but actually he's passed away. But like
Oh, you're talking
one of
about,
the people
what's
there,
his
like he
name?
was in that
The
movie, and
brother,
like I
right?
remember thinking it's so funny. Out of all the people that he must have experienced and tried to stalk, because there was this guy who used to walk through the park with this black umbrella. This would be in the dead of summer, and this black umbrella, but it wasn't to shield the sun because his whole outfit was like black, like trench, and like yes, people wear a lot of black in New York, but he like had this appearance of like this, just like this demonic crow. No disrespect,
Hmm.
he was trying to like put across. And there was some rumor later that that guy was associated with Larry Clark. And you could see the recruiting energy, right? And the emptiest of souls would have been involved there. And that guy, the one I'm talking about, whose name escapes me. Actually, there are two people from that movie who passed away, but same
Yeah,
type of idea, just different circumstances, just
it
different
was
backgrounds and stuff like that. But
the brother. I'm trying to remember his name. He used to
yeah,
skate.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he used to skate for New York. I'm trying to remember his name. He
I
passed
can't.
away, and
Yep,
then
Casper,
the white dude,
the dude Casper.
who Casper,
Yeah,
he passed away.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it has that serendipitous type of feeling. And just the other day, complex. I was looking at something. It just came up in my feed because of something else I was watching because it was involving the same person. But the
Hmm.
white chick in there, not Rosario Dawson, the other girl. Obviously, Rosario Dawson's not white, but
The white chick was
Chloe something.
Chloe
Whoever she is
Sox.
though, but
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was
yeah.
showing some the thing that came up on my feed was showing something where she was looking at some scrapbooks and she showed the scrapbook for kids had their like government phone numbers and all their business up there and shit. So that just came up the other day, which
What?
also lends to this idea of this like, passing in the road type of experiences, aka the second category that you were just talking about. Yeah, I'm with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, 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 to the twin flame energy. Yeah, yeah. No, that because that's exactly what that is, dude. That's like the best way I can explain that energy, right? Because that's kind of when I experienced it around that same time. What kids came out was at 95.
Something like that. I'm
It
really
was like
bad with
90.
stuff like
It was like
that.
95 when it came out, right?
It's definitely between 95 and 96. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's sort of like I can totally resonate with that, right? Like, dude, like I don't ask me how it was I ended up kind of doing things with chicks that I never like, if you would have saw me next to them, you would be like, "Wait, what?"
Oh, that's funny. What do you mean? Like, give us details and stuff.
You want details?
Mhm. Always.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm just saying like okay, you see that picture of that guy that's talking right now?
You
Me,
mean
right?
you?
Yeah, yeah, me right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there'd be like chicks you would never think a guy like that would be messing around with, right? But I had more to do with sort of what was taking place and sort of who we all were in that time. That's what I'm saying. It's twin flame, right? It's not um like soulmate's different. Twin flame, um you're of that same sort of spirit or energy.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean that um you know race wise you're the same. Doesn't mean that physically you you know you check off her boxes and she checks off yours. It doesn't necessarily mean that. That's what I mean. It's like um
I
and
got
this,
you. Kind of like when, if we're going to use people that we don't know that everybody knows, like some celebrity. I point to celebrities not because, I use them as examples a lot, but we
mhm.
have an understanding now. You understand it's not worship. It's just the
Yeah,
utilization, the
yeah,
prototype. Okay.
right.
So, like when Flavor Flav and Brigitte Nielsen hooked up, like this,
Okay, okay, that is
I
like
don't,
literally
I
the
don't
perfect
mean,
example of
I
what
don't
I'm
mean
talking about.
in comparison to you, or I promise I didn't
Yeah, I
mean
was gonna say, are you calling
a
me like
different
Flavor
world.
Flav or something?
Never, 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 never. I just mean like this idea of two orbits like coming into each other's perception. Like
Yes,
yes, this makes sense. With
yes,
no boundaries, right? Yeah, that's what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying because like no, I'm dead ass. Like
Mhm.
yeah, like some chicks that I kind of ended up sort of in some sort of moment with, right? You would never think, but it was sort of like okay,
Wait,
what,
can I
what
say something real quick before you go into that? Because I don't
what's
want to
up?
lose
What's
this.
up? Yeah,
Not nothing, but actually, Flavor Flav was the prize of the equation. I mean, Brigitte Nielsen. Let's face it. Like, this
yeah.
wasn't Red Sonja Brigitte Nielsen. Okay, but
Yeah,
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say because
Make that
that
point.
was like Brigitte Nielsen was at 80, circa 84,
Yeah, I
85.
mean, she was killing it back then.
Yeah,
Like,
she was killing it then. But
yeah,
dude, like, do you find yourself like fucking with Flavor Flav in the 2000s?
not. She was like the illy alcoholic, and like, I mean, she was a whole wreck. So no, he was definitely like the better thing in the situation. But I just
Okay,
make that point. But go ahead.
that's not really that's not that's okay. To say that Flavor Flav was the better part of that situation, that's not saying.
Hey, he has a prolific musical history. Okay, like,
Yo, okay, look, Bum Rush the Show is one of my favorite albums of all time. I get it, right? But yo, come on. It's Brigitte Nielsen and Flavor Flav. It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It
It
really hurts
doesn't.
the brain. But I
But
like that though. I like when you have these two things that just smack against each other, like bow, working out
no,
mentally.
I'm just saying that's that twin flame shit, dude. Like I'm saying, like there's been chicks I've been with,
Uh oh, I
and
can't even.
you'd be like, huh? And I was even like, yeah, don't ask me how this happened, dude. One night we were just all hanging out, and the next thing you know, we kind of went over there, and the next thing you know, right? And it was just because we just happened to be, for whatever reason, right? We're in this same environment. We're all listening to the same music, smoking the same weed, right? All that kind of shit. Even though we're kind of different people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's where like Kids, that movie Kids stood out to me because that was just sort of like the quintessential example of what I'm talking about.
because that's so New York. Like that is
Yeah,
the New York experience, especially
yeah,
during that time. Like you'd find yourself. Written several essays about this. Like you find yourself colliding in worlds that you wouldn't necessarily be in because of some common things. And usually it's music and drugs, right?
right,
Like that would be it.
right. Music, drugs, culture, all that type of shit, right?
Right.
And that's usually where where the twin flame connections happen largely, right? I
Mhm.
used to see it like in the music circles and stuff that I was in coming up, right? I mean, like dudes that get with chicks, and you know how this was back in the day, and it was just sort of like you so are not compatible. I guess you guys look good, right? And like when we're out, when you guys are out in the scene, right? People kind of yeah, they look at it a certain kind of way, and then yeah, so what, right? But there's literally you guys can't stand each other.
Wait, I didn't hear what you cut the some for some reason. All I
Did it
heard
cut
was
off?
each other. But what you said for some reason, and then there was the blank, and then each.
Oh, okay. What I'm saying is that like people like for twin flame reasons will get together even though they're not compatible, right? But because
Right.
there's sort of that same sort of energy, they find themselves in the same environment, same circles or similar circles, right? Social circles, for example, right? And so they'll pair together because of that. And that's sort of like a twin flame energy and not necessarily a soulmate energy because dude, they get on each other's fucking nerves and they're so not compatible and they're not happy
Interesting.
even though they look good together, sure, right?
Wait, I didn't hear the last thing you said again.
Oh
When you
no,
said after you said they're so not compatible, I didn't hear after that.
no, I was just saying they're just so not compatible, but they look good together, I suppose, right?
Ah, right,
For the gram and all that shit,
right. I hate that. Yeah.
right?
Um, I understand exactly what you mean, totally, completely. Especially just by proxy and observation and stuff, but like just personal living, I've never like really experienced like this idea of this fleeting thing in terms of the flimsy part of it. Like everything with me was always so deep. Like I've never had a one night stand. I don't know this life. Like I've never had like I mean it's happened around me several times. Like, I've maybe even been like my choice. And there were like times in life where I could feel like the decision was right there, like, okay, would you do this or would you not? And it's not that I said no, I will not, because I shall not do a one night stand. It was more like it just didn't feel right, and nothing about it would have led up to that naturally, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And you know it's like there's so many different experiences that you have, like especially when you have like all this space and like all these people and stuff like that. And like there are even situations that I was in when I'm going into a situation not necessarily thinking, well, yeah, sex is a given. I'm just thinking, yo, we're just chilling. And I mean that with the deepest of truth. And then I realized after that, like, wow, the expectation was there that we were only going to be meeting up for this part, not because they seemed to have cheapened the experience, just because when it was rejected, the surprise, confusion. And it's confusion on their part, I think, a lot of times, not on mine, because I think most people are really kind of just they're comfortable with what they're used to, and then they break through those boundaries. So someone's not used to like being in women's company, well, at that time girls company, it's like they'd be thinking like, well, this is what happens, right? Like, so okay, on paper it looks like this, but like in reality, it's like, and
Right.
like, there's no mystery about it. Like, when it comes to certain people, for guys who are looking at every woman as this potential pussy or this potential like, story or this potential like, success or goal accomplished, then that makes sense in some parts of nature, but also it doesn't make sense because it means that they've just been so alienated with that energy that it's just become like this desperate thing. Like, I mean,
Uh oh.
men in
What
your,
happened?
can't hear
Wait,
me?
wait. Yeah, there you go. Can you repeat what you were saying? It
Sure.
cut out for a second.
Okay, like when you've been around men, like as friends, family, like it's not this whole mystery. Like every man is not sexualized. So for me, like growing up, getting to know guys, like a lot of my even friends, like one of my best friends now, it started out as him having a crush on me. And like when he told me he was in love with me, I had no idea. Like I promise you. And like it took him and like the closest person I've ever had to like this idea of a fuck buddy. I don't have that either, but I guess in some way you could compartmentalize him that way because we kind of kept going back to each other like over a span of like 3 decades. Well,
Hmm.
2.5 decades, whatever. Since high school, okay, whatever the math is
Well,
on that.
wait. It was physical.
Friends, and then it became physical several times throughout life, like
Okay.
like maybe
Okay.
every 10 years, every like
Yeah.
8 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But definitely would not be. I don't think he would call me a fuck buddy. I never would call him that either. It was just like we have a whole lot of history and a deep thing. So like now that's off the table. But I'm saying like even as early as before I got into my serious relationship, like we were still in communication, and it was just kind of like a given. But the whole point in saying all that is that I don't really understand the culture of like being so close with somebody and not being close with them. Like either it's bonded or it's not. And I get that, not everybody
Yeah.
thinks that way, but you don't really attract that if you're not into that. And I've never really had that in my life.
Well,
Like
no.
people,
Let me ask you about that, because
yeah.
um, I'll tell you this, right? My whole experience has been it's a mixed bag, to say the least, right? I've only been in like two relationships. Okay, I'm totally fucking like putting this shit
Mhm.
out here. You know what? I don't care. Whatever, right? This conversation is for people to take away from this, right? We're relaying our experiences
Sure, yeah.
so that people learn. So fuck it. Okay. So I've only had like two like relationships for the
Hmm.
most part, right?
Hmm.
Um, I had a 2.5 year relationship with my ex girlfriend. She basically took me through the goddamn rigor. I mean, she just you name whatever could happen in that relationship. Well, I won't say whatever, but for the most part, anything as a guy you would prefer not to happen, it kind of did happen. And yeah, I was like, yeah, yeah,
I'm
like
laughing at the experience, just the way you said it.
and, then there's like my marriage, right, with my wife, right, and that was literally the opposite of that, which it was the best thing ever. So I have the
Wait,
unique
I missed something because you went out. What was the best thing ever?
no, I'm saying, when okay, there was the experience I had with my ex-girlfriend, right,
Hmm.
then there was the marriage I had with my wife,
Hmm.
and I'm saying that they were two opposite ends of the spectrum. So what I can say is that I can speak from both sides. I can say I've experienced being drugged through the mud,
Gotcha.
dealing with a chick, being cheated on, all
Oh,
this other stuff. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And then on the other side, having that chick that was literally down for you, right? That literally had your back. Okay,
yeah.
I know the difference between the two, right? That's how I can easily talk about what a soulmate is, what a twin flame is, what a karmic lover is, right? I've like literally explicitly experienced all three. Um, Unfortunately, I would say that the soulmate think maybe it's been the one time, perhaps. I don't know. There's been connections that I've had in the past where it just seemed like I've known that person before from another lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
which would be soulmate energy, right? That's why I
So
don't
let me
want
ask
to.
you.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think there was a slight delay. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm listening.
No, no, go ahead. Were you saying something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you real quick about that. So the feeling like that you've known this person or this energy of this person and
Okay, shit. You just cut out.
okay, how about now?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. That feeling of like if you've known somebody in another incarnation or known their energy in another incarnation, right? That feeling.
Hmm.
Do you feel like that happens more than just with people that you've had like intimate relationship with or an intimate feeling with? Like maybe like you could even be like let's say it could even be something really so quick or so rapid as like waiting on a platform for a train. And,
Hmm.
like maybe in the 25 years that you've done this, like, a majority of your life, maybe like three times or something like that, you've come across somebody, you're like, you know what? That person has definitely, like, there's something either so entirely familiar and or you two are drawn to each other for some reason. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's not in a good way, right? Like sometimes it can be in a real strange way. So do you feel like that is the same thing?
That would be the okay. If it's in like that, not if it's in the not so good way, that's the karmic,
Mm.
right? That's the karmic. Like when you're drawn to somebody where your interaction with them is not good, that's a karmic connection.
Hmm. What if it's not that you're drawn to them, but you feel like they're drawn to you and there's a familiarity, or that you knew they were drawn to you? But also, a separate question is what about the person where it's kind of neutral or even just kind of regular, like the train station person, where you're like,
Hmm.
I feel like that person's so familiar, and maybe we both looked at each other with this all-knowing look, and we said hi to each other. Don't know why, but we did. And then, like, we got off the train, and then that person says, "Hey, you know what?" Da, da, da. And there's this experience that lets you know something was weird about that. You don't want to be with that person. You don't even care necessarily to see them again, but there's just something there that kind of reminds you that yeah, we've kind of done this before with each other.
Well, okay. Have you ever had a deja vu experience?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right? Those are those like I don't know. Those are like those moments where I think it sort of kind of goes
Oh
beyond.
my gosh, complex. You keep going,
What
but I think it's my end
is
because
it? Me? Wait, wait.
no,
You're not.
I don't think so. Because for some reason I've been having trouble with Streamer. I'm gonna go out and come right back, but I'm gonna be listening. So
Okay.
I'll
No,
hear you.
no, 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 no. I'm gonna literally wait till you come back. All right. Here, let me post a link. I'll wait. I'll hold the thought. Go ahead and
I'm
then come
going
back.
to. I'm gonna close it out and then come back. So give me about
Okay.
2 minutes, okay?
All right. All right. Go ahead. Here's the link. I'm posting it right now.
All right, because it's becoming more frequent, and I'm really missing a lot of what you're saying.
Okay. No worries. Go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right.
There's the link right there. All right.
Okay.
All right, you guys. Look, I'm gonna actually step away to go use the restroom while Miss Real Life comes right back. So, give us just a second. We're gonna kind of recalibrate here. We're gonna continue our conversation. I will be right back. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna wait for Miss Real Life to come on back here. Hopefully she kept that question in mind so that we can circle back. All right. So let me check the chat here. We were just kind of going on a little combo. I'm not even checking out what's going on. Okay, wait, we got Dave Towel. What's going on, bro? Zone, what's up, man? Shonda, okay, yeah, we can see there. Emmanuel Briggs, what's going on? Evan, all right. Renaissance Man, you got your wish, real. Yeah, she's here. Miss Raining Woman, how you doing? Good evening. All right. Emmanuel, you said, has anyone ever told you two you might make a cute couple? Just saying, hey. Listen, Miss Real Life is not in cyberspace, is in a relationship. Let's respect her relationship there. No, she is a trusted contributor of this channel here. So, um, uh, I would say that when her and I talk about these types of things, it's really something for people to take away from, not necessarily, looking at us like, hey, you guys would be cute together. No, but no, we kind of have the same sort of sensibilities about a lot of this stuff. So I always like to pick her brain, um, you know, on these type of conversations. So so as she is restarting her system and going to be coming back on. So hopefully you guys are following along with what we're talking about here, right? These different types of attractions, right? Um, and we've experienced different these different types of attractions, and I think oftentimes we may experience one more so over the other when we prefer to experience the other, but like these other forms of attractions are I don't want to say they're necessary, but they're natural, right? They're normal and they're natural, right? That's what I mean. It's like you can have very true, genuine, platonic friendships as a man. You can have that with a woman. You can, especially if it's business. If it's like things like business and stuff like that. I mean, we're humans. We're multifaceted, right? I don't think every interaction that we have with the opposite sex has to be rendered down to the question of would I fuck or not. I don't think that that's the way we should live. Miss Real Life, you there?
I think so. I hope you can hear me.
Holy crap! What the hell? Why do you sound like a robot?
Oh, no. Okay, hold on. Is that better?
I don't know. It's like, why does it sound all fuzzy?
Okay, I'll be back.
Do you want to? Okay, all right, no problem. Okay, so Real Life's gonna get her sound together here. Cursed Streamyard, the heck is going on? Imagine you say, "Okay, my bad, no disrespect." It seemed like you guys were vibing. Dude, no, I'm saying, man, Miss Real Life, she's cool as hell, man. She's cool as hell. That's like, yeah, that's my homegirl right there, man. So just know that anytime she's over here, you'll never hear her and I arguing about shit. Okay, that'll never happen. If anything, if somebody's arguing with her, I'm probably gonna pull up, and be like, "Man, you better fall the fuck back." Actually, I did it. I'm trying to remember which live stream it was. It was me, Real Life, and I'm trying to remember who else it was. This other brother. He was on, and who was it? I think it was like Dave. This guy, David Johnson. He calls himself the asshole. I call him the anus. Yeah, he came up trying to like pick a bone or some shit with her, and I was just like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, I mean, don't come over here with that crap. No, but see, you gotta understand, man. Like, Real Life, man. Ever since she's come over here, it's always just been like cool. So yeah. Blood Sport 1. You said 95. 95. 95? Maybe I'm missing something. You said 95. Maybe that is in reference to something we were talking about earlier on in the live stream. Maybe. Yeah, yeah, that's what I figured. You said my bad about the footage. Okay. Yeah, because we were talking about like what that movie Kids 90, that whole time. That's why I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. No, you're good. You're good. I was like, wait, 95? I think you probably came in on that one part. We were talking about Kids. Yeah. Nah, dude, Kids was the flick, man. What's Homeboy, man? I can't remember the brother's name, man. He skated for Zoo York. He was skating for Zoo York, man. His name was
I can't remember his name. It's driving
I
me
can't
nuts.
either, man. Like, why am I drawing a blank?
Is the sound better?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Let me tell you what happened. I was like, maybe StreamYard did some updates, so let me try to use my actual mic. And so I tried it, and that was when that staticky sound happened. So I don't know. I mean,
Well,
I'm
you
not.
sound great now. I don't know what you know.
It's the same thing as the first time. Like literally nothing different.
Jesus Christ.
I
Okay.
know. Yeah, but thank you. Yeah, that guy. And so he passed away from an overdose.
Yeah. Yep. 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 I know. Yeah. I would look. I was like all in the skate scene and stuff back then, right? Like Harold Hunter. That's who it was. Harold Hunter.
Harold, right?
Yes.
I knew his
Harold Hunter.
name
That's
was
him.
Harold. That's totally Harold.
That's
Yes.
him. That's him. Harold Hunter.
He was like a little bit older than us and stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
He
Uh,
was like the dude who repped Zoo York hard. Like he blew that brand up.
I didn't know that. I mean, I know
Yeah.
that of course they were associated with skaters, but I didn't know that he was integral in that. That's dope.
No, he was literally he skated for Zoo York.
I'm
Like
glad 'cause it
those dudes that were in that movie were like legit pro skaters.
the you mean
Like Harold and all them dudes.
the movie Kids or the
Yeah. They all skated for like Zoo York and Supreme and yeah. That's why I was like, dude, like it's so that whole era was so crazy because it was surreal, right? Because Zoo York, Supreme, that was like real shit. Harold Hunter was a real dude, right? That
definitely
was a real movie. Rosario Dawson, Chloe Sov, I don't know how to say her last name.
70, right? That's her name. Yeah,
Yeah, they were all like real people.
so let me ask you this, um, because obviously California was huge. Like New York always gave props to. I was never a skater, obviously, but as a girl around like the same areas, of course
Mhm.
you're there.
Yeah.
So in terms of like just knowing that California was like a big part of that. So when you say like Zoo York, because I just know that as like a clothing brand. Like
Yeah.
what else? Oh, okay. So you mean like he was like the one who popped that thing off?
Yeah, like Zoo York was like it was okay, like I don't know how it was in like New York, right? But see, when you like so back then before internet, like it was largely before like, websites, internet
Oh
shops, you could just
yeah,
buy
way
shit and all
before
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like okay, that was one of those brands like Zoo York, right? So
Mhm.
Zoo York merch was kind of hard to come by here. Harold Hunter was like I'm saying like that movie Kids, Zoo York, that okay, Kids, that movie Kids blew Zoo York up out here.
Got you. Cause like even when like the only time regular people like I got the internet like at the end of this
Oh,
and
wait,
like
wait,
when
wait,
she
wait.
had
You say you got the internet towards the end of when?
like around the end of 98, maybe like early 99. And like
Mhm.
basically like my friend Abby who had mad money, like they had just gotten the internet like a year before I did. That's how I knew about it. I was like, what the fuck is this? She's like, look, like it was like this big deal. So yeah, that
Yeah,
was right after all that. Got you. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, I just knew
yeah.
Howard was like very like dedicated to skating and definitely wanted to be famous. Like you could always tell people
Nah,
who
dude was a legend, man.
for that.
Yeah, when he passed, it was like a big deal.
Wow, yeah.
When he passed away, it was a big deal. I think he passed away in like 2001 2001 or something like that, 2002, somewhere around there. It was a big
Listen,
deal.
do you know about Michael Ali and all them?
Who?
Like the dude who basically killed that dude, and he like so the guy who owned the tunnel, Peter.
Oh, you talking about the dude who played Casper or something like that?
No, that might have overlapped though, conflicts because a lot of times like you wonder why people are there. And like for me, Michael Ali was definitely a plant. But anyway, the guy Peter Gation, right?
Hmm.
So there's this dude from Germany who comes in with a patch, like, "Arr," and it's like, well, what the fuck happened to his eye? And like, the people have always got stories, right? But none of them quite match up to the fact that you hear, and then if you Germans, you know what I'm saying? Like, why these cats are over in the U.S. Anyway, I digress. But anyway, he owned clubs, and he had the Palladium. No, no, no. He had Tunnel and Limelight. There was another one. I want to say Palladium, but I might be mistaken. But he had
Hmm.
three clubs. Anyway, in the Limelight, they were pushing drugs heavy. Obviously, that's where most of the psychotropic drugs were being pushed out of Limelight, and like they would spread out into the village, the West Village and East Village as well. But a lot of like the hub was Limelight, and a lot of these people, the mass producers or the people who can get you the plug are these like random foreign dudes. And Peter Gage,
Right,
that dude,
right.
and the dude Michael Ali, whose parents were German immigrants. It's a whole other story, okay? But
Wait,
anyway,
wait, wait, wait. Is he the dude who did the movie?
that's dude, Larry Clark, and then Harmony Korine or Corrine, however you pronounce his name. But the dude Harmony Korine, like he supposedly gave, like basically he came out of nowhere. Like it's one of those situations, exactly the same thing. So he might as well be the same guy. Like a
Yeah.
who comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they've got all this influence and all this money to do like secondary and third and tertiary movies. He did Gummo, that same guy who
Holy shit. Oh my god.
did.
Dude, Gummo. Are
Could
you
not watch the entirety of Gummo. I couldn't
fuck?
do it.
Oh my god.
You saw the whole thing?
I dude, okay. Are you
Let's talk about it. Come on now.
No, 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 look, one night, I shit you not. Um, I was like I was like high as fuck, right? I blew some like I had a homie dude that was serving up like I don't know where the fuck he got this strain of like Kush from. But one night I was sitting at the pad, right?
Yeah.
And I blew some shit and I swear to God I was in a zone. And Gummo came on.
Oh no.
It came on I'm trying to remember what channel it was. This one I had, when we had cable TV and shit.
Yeah.
I swear to God. I don't like to this day, it was one of the most surreal fucking experiences I ever had high. Do you remember like the scene where there was like that black midget dude and like he was laying in bed with I I don't I don't know what the hell I was watching. But as soon as you said Gummo, I was like, yo, that is like literally the most bizarre movie I've ever seen.
All I can remember is my boyfriend at the time. We were together 8 years. He's since passed. Rest in peace, John.
Rest in peace.
Thank you. We were watching. We rented that movie. It was back when we were renting shit. And
Yeah.
I got mad tired. And usually I'm up, like I'd be up, but for some reason I was so sleepy. And then all of a sudden I heard this weird shit, and I opened my eyes and I saw this kid with rabbit ears and a gun. And
Oh my god, that kid,
oh,
why is he
I
I don't
wanted
want to call him ugly, but
that
shit.
ugly ass motherfucker. I wanted to kick that nigga in his face. I hated this kid. I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? And now this is the second time
Oh,
me and
oh
him,
shit.
when it came to a movie, I was like, how can you watch this? So I was like, what is this? And obviously I knew Harmony Korine. I knew that like we rented it with the idea, like, yeah, we're gonna enjoy this. No, it was
No.
there was some sort of like weird sick like sex thing with their.
Dude,
I don't know what the fuck
it
I.
is the most dude, like this disturbing movie
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
I hate that movie.
It's
Harmony Korine came back and he did that movie Spring Breakers recently with Gucci Mane, and his wife actually is in the movie. And
what?
yeah, you remember that movie Spring Breakers?
No, I never saw that. No,
Yeah,
I
it
never saw
came,
that.
It came out like, and it's got his. It came out around. I don't know. I'm terrible with years, but maybe like I don't know, like 15, 14. I don't know, 13 years ago or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like supposedly a big deal because he had all those teeny bopper like Nickelodeon girls who grew up or whatever.
Oh God.
And the guy Gucci Mane and that guy James Franco. You know that fucking creep.
Yeah, the one that was creeping around with Amber Heard.
Oh, he was. He creeped
Yeah.
with an orifice. He's such a disgusting pervert.
Look, they got him. They got. I saw this shit on like the trial. They got like elevator footage. Like Amber was like in a damn robe and shit, and then this dude's wearing like a baseball cap, and they're like positioning themselves so that the camera could like not see their face. And like Johnny Depp's like lawyer is just like, "That's you and James Franco, right?" And Amber's like, yes." And it was
What?
like she had to. What? Huh?
Oh no, I
What?
just said what?
Yeah. No, dude, she fucked around on Johnny Depp with not only James Franco but Elon Musk as well.
That's nasty. Ow. So wait a minute. Hold on. So this dude, James Franco, right? Because you know he's one of those people. These people who fuck anybody. But Harmony Korine is the same type of dude.
Yeah.
He got his wife up in the picture, right? And his wife is like this. She looks like a bro. Like it's one of those situations,
Uh
and
huh.
it's just disgusting. But yeah, he made that big comeback with that movie Spring Breakers. Check it out. It's about these girls who like basically got caught up. James Franco plays like this drug dealer with like cornrows and shit. It's just ridiculous. And they like rob somebody and kill. I don't know what if they kill somebody. I can't remember, but it's just disgusting. It's not as bad.
Really?
It's not as bad as Gummo though.
I no Gummo is like legit disturbing.
Yeah.
Like it is legit. Like there was one like I said, I like the night I watched it. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, I came home from DJing that night. I'm
Uh,
saying, like, yeah. What it was like, I went and DJ'd, and then I came home. I got home like around like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I like went out on my balcony, blew some herb, and then I
no,
flipped. I
you're
flipped.
going out.
Wait, what?
It's still going out. I should say my audio is not picking up on you again. It's
No
definitely on.
shit, really? Are you serious?
Yeah, I can hear you now though.
Okay, okay.
I just didn't
No,
hear what you said before. You say you finished DJing and
yeah, I DJ'd. I got home, and then I blew some herb, and then I just threw the TV on, and I'm trying to remember what channel it was, but there was a movie called Gummo. And I said, you know what, let me check it out, and it was the most disturbing fucking movie I've ever watched.
he had another movie called what was it? Johnny what is like Lonely Guy John
Wait, what movie?
Bullshit. You know, he's one of those fucking wannabe. He wants to be deep so badly until he's about to like break his fucking neck. It's like Johnny Lonely Guy or something. It's about like I don't even know what it's about. I've never seen it.
Wait,
But
what year did this come out?
this is I don't know, but approximately like not too long after Gummo, maybe like 4 or 5 years after Gummo,
Shit. Okay.
when
Huh.
nobody was interested in that. And you know, like these guys, they get turned out by these older sick fucks. You know, these J asterisk S is right, and
Hmm.
basically that was what Larry Clark was. So he turned out the Harmony Korine dude, and then now the Harmony Korine dude is in like it's just like paying it forward. Like they're just a bunch of sick
They
fucks.
all they do they kind of, yeah, like you said, pay it
What'd you
forward,
say?
right? They kind of, no, you say like they pay it forward, right? So they kind of do it to that guy, and then that guy does it to that guy, and that guy does it to, yeah. No, Bloodsport. I don't think Don. No, not Donnie Darko. Because we no, I know Donnie Darko front to back.
Donnie Darko. Wait. I don't know what you mean. Oh wait, is it the chat? Hold on, let me go to the chat.
No, yeah, it's in the chat. He was because he's thinking the movie you're talking about was Donnie
Oh,
Darko.
no. It's
No, no, no.
Let me look it up. I'll let you guys know right now.
Okay.
Hold
Yeah, no, that's not Donnie Darko. I trust me, that movie, man. Oh my god, that one. Donnie Darko. I know that one front to back. Brick. I don't know if you guys ever remember that movie Brick.
Yeah, I didn't see Brick, but my friend Floyd really liked it.
Oh my god, that's with what's
I
his
could
name?
kill, but I just never saw it.
Do you gotta watch Brick.
Yeah, that's what he said. Why?
Dude,
What
Brick
makes it
was
so
so
good?
it's just such a badass movie. That's what's his name? I can't
Mr.
remember his
Lonely and Trash Humpers. That was the name of the movie. And then
what's it
before
called?
that was okay. So after Kids and Gummo, there was Julian Donkey Boy and Ken Park, and then there was Mr. Lonely and Trash Humpers. So just some old bullshit, you know.
Okay, no. I think after Gummo, that was it for me.
Yo, before Gummo, that was it.
Jesus Christ. Look, for those of y'all, just take our word for it.
Don't
Gummo,
watch
G-
it.
Gummo. If you
Don't watch
watch
it
it, it's gonna
tomorrow.
legit be the most disturbing movie you ever watch. Think of the worst porn you've seen. It's worse.
Think of the time where you saw somebody doing something so foul to a person of special needs and you wondered how people like this live. And then imagine somebody exploiting that times 10, exponentializing it on film.
Jesus Christ, you're describing the movie. You're
That's
telling them.
exactly, yeah, I mean, it's the fucking worst, okay? If you like Gummo, I hate you, okay? Let's just,
I swear to God, no, real talk, y'all. Like Gummo is like literally one of the worst movies you could ever watch.
the worst thing on
Watch it.
it.
No, it Bloodsport is Gummo. Gummo. Gummo.
So complex. What about did you see 8 millimeter? Because that's gonna go down in history as like the second worst movie.
Wait. 8 millimeter. 8 millimeter. Wait. Why does that sound
Oh
familiar?
no, I can't hear you, fam. Hold on. I did.
Wait. You can you hear me now?
Yeah. What'd you say?
Okay. Wait. No, you said 8 millimeter. Why does that sound familiar? 8 millimeter.
Yeah, because that's some old bullshit where it's like you walk away feeling like it's like. Did you see Hostel? I felt the same way after leaving.
Hostile. Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking hated like
Yeah.
I just everything about that. Like it was a different kind of sicko than Gummo, but it's still teetering on the same type of feeling, you know?
I mean, Gummo is just the thing. The problem is that I didn't know if I was watching a movie or a documentary
Right.
or literally just somebody who had a camera on in a house
Right.
where I should not be seeing what's going on there. I could not
Totally. That
tell.
they should not even have had kids. Like whoever had that kid with those ears.
I mean, dude, do you remember the scene where he was like lifting weights with spoons?
No, I probably didn't watch that far. That
Holy shit!
was
No,
like,
he was trying to like because there was this girl he had a crush on.
oh
So what he
god,
did was he took a bunch of spoons and he taped them together, and he was like, he was like doing curls with spoons.
oh my gosh, who the kid
Yeah,
with the rabbit ears?
yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, it's not.
I fucking hate
Oh,
everything.
I hate this. I hate that movie. Why are we talking about it? We keep talking about it and we hate it.
We can't stop talking about Gummo.
Holy shit. Okay. Oh my god.
I wait for
Like
you to stop talking about.
I know. I'm waiting for you to stop. Like change the topic already. God damn. All right. Look, let's change it. All right. So, we're gonna talk about something that's not Gummo. Um,
You
let's
said
see.
it again.
Wait, hold on. Gummo sounds like a real life
You
version.
said it again. You guys are
No,
like,
no. Look, it's in the comments, please. It's not me. It's not me. He said Gummo sounds like a real life version of The Hills Have Eyes.
it's even
Uh,
than that. Even though that was
it's
fucking
worse. No,
terrible,
it's
it
worse,
was
dude.
worse than that.
Trust us. Trust us when we
It's
tell you
worse
this, dude.
than Leatherface, meaning Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, the original. It's worse than fucking Hostel. It's just
It's
worse.
because look, those are actual movies. You watch Gummo, you not there's gonna come to a point where you're not sure if you're watching a movie. Okay, you're
And
not
you're not going
sure.
to be sure you're going to ever want to be around people
Yes,
again.
yes, dude, that's what I'm telling you. It's too fucking disturbing,
Yeah.
and I think this is why we're trying not to talk about it, but we keep talking about it because it's just that
Why
damn
do
disturbing.
we keep talking about it? Because I've been stopped talking about Gummo, then all of
All
a
right,
sudden.
all right. So hold on. Let's go back to the topic of the live stream. How about that?
Okay, good. Deliver.
Attraction, soulmates, twin flames, and karmic lovers. Okay. all right. So let's do this. Let's do this. Okay.
Okay.
We talked about the karmic lover stuff, right? We twin flame somehow that crescendoed into gummo. I don't know how. I'm gonna go back and listen to this
Crescendo,
shit.
it means he
It
loves gum
did. It
because
did.
crescendo is like, the apex. Like it's made, he's giving it a compliment. You subliminally forced me to start talking about gummo.
It's like it's pretty much one of those things where it's like you once you get a taste in your mouth, you can't get it out. So, all right, we're gonna try our best. All right, so look, we're gonna go to soulmates now. Let's go. Let's get the soulmates.
Okay.
Okay, we were talking about twin flames. We're gonna talk about soulmates. So, woosah. All right, soulmates.
Mhm.
That's a different level of compatibility. All right. So when we're dealing with the soulmate stuff, we're not dealing with that sort of weird kind of there's a draw, but then there's also a competitive element in that twin flame energy, right? Because you're of the same, so you mirror each other. But if you mirror each other, that means that whatever maybe dysfunctions or bad things you have, it mirrors in the other person, and then that's where the incompatibility could happen. So this is where they say like with twin flames, it can go either way, right?
Hmm.
Soulmate, on the other hand, right? That's pretty much a given, right? It's much like what it suggests, right? Soulmate. So, and I think that ultimately isn't that, or let me ask you, would you say that that's ultimately what everyone is seeking? Even if they say, I ain't looking up for no relationship, I'm better off single. Da da da. Is everyone seeking their soulmate
You
ultimately?
didn't even have to put the addendum on it. Absolutely. And just
Okay.
real quick
Okay.
before I throw the ball back to you,
Hmm.
I just want to say that Bloodsport says he now has got to see Gomo. So I'm gonna say that like at this point,
Jesus, it came back.
that
We're back on
that
Gummo.
dude is gonna owe us money because his views. Nobody's watching Gomo, but now in the next like month, people are gonna be watching
I'm
Gomo.
telling you right now, that's gonna
I
be like
want
one
my
of the most
cut.
rented
Okay.
goddamn movies on. Was it? And if they have it on Netflix, wherever the fuck you find it, we want our cut.
Oh no!
We,
Stop plugging where you can go find it. I knew it.
huh? What would you say?
I knew it. Now you're telling everybody where they can go find the
Oh
movie.
my god. Okay. I listen. Amazon, Netflix. Maybe you can find it on a used DVD. Right. All I'm gonna say is, man, that is one hell of a viewing experience.
Yeah, yes, that's what everybody is looking for. And sometimes, even when they deny it, they know it. But some people don't even know that's what they're looking for, and they're looking for that. Yes.
Listen, look. With Bloodsport, it's $42 on Amazon. Holy shit.
I tried. I tried to bring it back.
Oh my god. It's 42 fucking dollars.
That's
Dude, no, it
unbelievable. I
didn't cost that much
knew
to
that
see it when it
it was
came
a
out.
Nah, it was when we started talking about it. You know how Google be listening to everything.
You know,
They
it
do that
literally just shot, yeah, the algorithm just shot the price up right now.
immediately.
Yeah. I bet you if I pull it up right now, it's like $48.
Right. And now we're gonna say, you know what? Everybody see Gummo. It's actually really
You know
cool.
what? Fuck you, Amazon.
Away. I don't want it.
Oh my god. Like the price literally went up on just like us talking about how bad of a movie
I
that is.
totally am that paranoid right now. Okay. Yes,
This is
that's what
terrible.
happened.
And so it's like the more we talk about how bad the movie is, the more it's gonna go up in price.
Right. So now we have to start
You know
talking
what?
about how good it is, and
Gummo
then
is a
people are not.
great movie. It is so awesome. You have to see the
I
scene
saw it
where
5 times.
the kid is curling. He's lifting weights with spoons.
Boom.
It's so inspirational.
A lot of boosts,
Um,
meaning that don't let lack of weights prevent you from exercising.
yes. I'm saying like what we should be taking away from this is a very positive message of listen, use what's in your environment.
Improvisation, okay? It looks like a sock, but it could
This
really
is not
be
working.
warmer if you cut a hole out
This
the
is not
other end.
working.
Okay,
This is not working.
don't limit yourself to what it's being marketed for.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, Bloodsport. Lifting weights with spoons. Yes, that happened. That was in the movie.
I'm gonna go turn on the air conditioner. I'll be right back.
Among a bunch of other things that we will not talk about, let's get back to soulmates. Okay, so
Yeah.
soulmates. Um, yeah, not they're not twin flames. Okay,
Mhm.
soulmates is who you are 100% compatible with, right? And so I guess in that regard, you said yes. Um, even people who say, you know, oh, I'm totally happy single, da 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 da, this and that. Had if they met their soulmate, they would jump at the chance to be with them. Yay or nah?
They said if they met their soulmate, they would.
Jump. They would if they met their soulmate, they would jump at the chance to be with them.
Yes,
Yep.
and they are still probably happy single. I believe people when they say that. But yes, I think even though they're happy single, they would still jump wholeheartedly if they felt that they found their soulmate. Yes.
Well, I mean, isn't happiness right? I mean, see, this is I guess like here's what's interesting about this, right? Because I guess people can say, well, I'm happy single. Okay, so would you be happy in a relationship?
I'd like to answer that.
Sure, go ahead.
I was single for a very long time. What happened was is that like when I was younger, I kept like getting into situations where like I was getting connections and I was like, this is great. Like I understood connection very early, right? Even before that. But then as I got older, I said, I started to get older and time started to go by really fast. And then
Hmm.
people started to say, like, you're too intense. That's not their words; those are mine. But that's what they were saying. Like, you need to like lighten up some. You can't just go out on dates. But I didn't feel like there was a any reason to have a second date if you didn't feel like maybe you could marry that person. And I mean that very seriously. It
Hmm.
doesn't mean that I felt like I wanted to marry the person. I just felt like if I didn't feel like there was a possibility, why go on to the second date? Like, what's the purpose of that? Like, I can get dinner anytime. Like, I don't need to go on a date to get anything that they're going to give me. The only reason that I would go is if I feel like this is somebody I want to be around, period. So,
Hmm.
I started to really take what they were saying to heart. And I'm not people's like the ubiquitous advice always is just to me, kind of I'm wary of it. Even if by definition, even if it sounds attractive, I'm like, too many people are saying it. Like, but at that point, like I started to be like, well, maybe I'm missing something because any thinking person has to say, you're not always right. Like, listen to the signs around you. And I was hearing
Hmm.
it a lot. And so I said, well, maybe I should start to go out on dates and stuff. And like, who cares if I think he's lame or if he's boring as fuck or if he's stupid, dumb as a fucking doornail or whatever the fuck. Like, no problem. Like, it's just dinner. What's the hurt
Hmm.
or whatever. So that, of course, because of the intensity around my life, it just would turn into like, these things that would become either things that I had to head off at the past or things that were like major attachments, even if not on the romantic realm. Like, bumping into people, like just, two ships floating in the wind or whatever. And so,
Hmm.
you know, long story short, I did not want to do that. Okay, it was very, very, very trying on me, and it took energy from me. I did not enjoy it, and I didn't understand it, and I didn't want to understand it. So, well, maybe I understood it, but I didn't want it to become familiar. Is a better way of saying
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I stopped it, and I was single and celibate for a long time. And I didn't go out seeking that. It just happened. I was like, I'm not going to be with somebody on that intimate level unless I really, really, really like them, unless I love them. And I felt like, love can be shared between, love is not that complex. Okay. So, but when it comes down to like sharing my energy, I said, I'm just not going to do that unless I feel like it reaches this thing. So
Yeah.
with that said,
Uh-oh.
Fact,
Wait, real life, you there? Okay, there you go.
yeah, you can, to answer the question, and I say that to say this very dramatically though, but seriously, yes, you can be happy and be single. And it is only the true happiness of understanding that the other option is so much more banal and whack than you being just with yourself, right? That is true happiness in singularity. But that doesn't mean that when a person comes along that makes that null and void that you won't jump at it. That's actually what you're waiting for. That's why, well, that's what makes that even greater than the single thing.
Yeah, oh, like gosh, you know what? Oh, how do I kind of how do I approach this one? Um, I never dated, right? I've never dated, like never, right? I honestly like you just you know don't judge me on this, you guys, but I always thought it was really weird to like pay money to get to know somebody, right? Because that's kind of what dating
Oh
is. Like
yeah, that's,
you get a chick,
from
you're
your
like, yeah, yeah,
perspective.
hey, I'm gonna take you over here, and then I gotta pay for shit, right? And then I'm gonna just, I'm basically paying to get to know you. And I'm like, okay, dude, like, there's been all these other scenarios in life where I did not have to pay money to get to know somebody, right? So fundamentally, dating never made sense to me in the traditional sense where I ask you out, I say, hey, I'm going to take you here, and then I pay the money. But the whole intention is for me to sit up here and court you and get to know you. I always thought that was counterintuitive, right? 'Cause I'm like,
Mhm.
what chick's gonna turn down a free dinner, right? Right. So it was sort of like, okay, that's not gonna actually really get you anywhere. So you know, I always kind of just allowed things to organically happen, right? So I never did the dating thing. I kind of just really I at the time I was doing more like my music and DJing and all that kind of shit. So, most nights after work I, take a nap, get up, pack my crates, and then I was going to go do a gig that night, go do the gig, then come home like around 1 o'clock, 1:30, go to sleep, get up, go to work, do it all over again, right? That was pretty much my life. So there was no dating, there was no this, there was no that. It was just like work, DJ, sleep, get up, work, DJ, sleep, get up, right? Um,
Mhm.
and even like today, my life's like that. It's get up, email, phone calls, blah, 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 whatever. Daughter at school, you know, take her to school, pick her up. Daddy, I gotta do it. Okay, go do that with her. Cheerleading practice, right? Come back, phone calls, business, whatever. Dating? What? Excuse me? Huh? What? Right? When does that happen?
Right.
You know? So it's really just kind of been like a happenstance, kind of, you know, I don't know, planets align, you meet somebody, phone number exchange, you talk, da, da, da. Okay, right? But to make it like an intentional thing, no, it's just not a thing that I can even do because it's just it's too much shit, and then, plus there's the other thing too. I got to be real with you. As a guy I'm gonna be 45 this year, right? Jesus Christ, I just said that out loud. I just said that out loud. Wow. Holy crap. Okay. Well, yes, I will be that old this year. And let me tell you, it's not like when I was in my 20s DJing and out in the scene doing all that stuff. And it's funny, like when I
Oh
listen to
no.
well no, it's like
Wait,
when
wait, complex.
what?
Wait, you broke up. I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Not you. The sound went out. You said you something. You said and I didn't hear you after.
Oh no, I'm saying like so given kind of like going going to 45 years of age, you know, it's not things aren't the way it was when I was in my 20s. Even in my 20s I didn't date, but I was like, I was DJing, I was in the club scene and shit, right? So I just got interaction because of that. But nowadays it doesn't work like that at all. right? And I have a child, and I'm all about her largely, right? Like I'm all about like my baby cakes. Even though she'll tell me, "Daddy, you need to shave. Daddy, you need to go get some new clothes. Daddy, Daddy, you need to go and get you a lady friend." Right? And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, she's on my ass about this stuff. But, as a parent, I'm just like, babe, listen, I gotta make sure you're okay. Don't worry about me. Right?
you're
So,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what life basically has become, right? And it's just sort of like what you're dealt with. So, you're right. It's kind of like it's different things for different people, right?
Yeah,
Um, so I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of y- how do I say this? I think that sometimes like being in my situation, I look at other people, and I don't want to say I'm envious,
kind
but
of. You said
you know,
sometimes being in.
wait, say that again.
You said sometimes.
Oh no, I'm saying that like from given the situation that I've been in, I look at
Uh-huh.
other people's situation and then I go, why are you struggling? Why are you having so many problems? Right? Because like from where I'm at, I'm like, dude, try going through what I just dealt with, right? Like, I'm like, your person's still there. You guys can work that shit out. But in a
Right.
situation where illness takes another person away, it's like you're just left to kind of like deal with it, right?
Yeah.
And so in my head, I always look. I'm like, look, you guys can either hash that out, or you can peacefully make amends, right? And separate. You have that ability to do that, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of how I sometimes, I kind of see things from my end, and it does. That's where it kind of makes it hard to do this kind of stuff, especially now. A lot of chicks who think a bunch of different ways, right? My wife was very traditional. My daughter is just like a spitting image of her, and the last thing I want is like some raging feminist slash lesbian who poses as straight, like throwing a bunch of thoughts into my daughter's head. Yeah, I don't want that shit.
Totally. Yeah, that can't happen.
Yeah, I don't want that shit. You know, so that
No.
soulmate energy for me at this stage is really kind of like the only thing I could really even kind of jive with at this point, right? Like somebody that's just like completely compatible, right? That's not going to really disturb or groove too much, but in all actuality, kind of assist and help with what's going on, right? To kind of make it more of a thing, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's kind of that energy. Well, like I said, once you've had that soulmate energy, you don't really go down. Every time you kind of crescendo up, you don't want to go back down.
Ever. You don't even want to
Yeah,
stay at a baseline because that's not there's no baseline. So a baseline happening would mean that a person is purposefully putting themselves in the way either to make something work
hmm,
or to avoid being a part of something or maybe some things in between as well, but that's not natural.
yeah, yeah. Like you never want to like downgrade in life, you know. And
Mhm.
I gotta admit, man, my wife Rosie, she kind of left a high bar, right? She really did,
Yeah.
which is that's not a it's I say that like it's a bad thing, but it's not, you know.
I didn't think you were saying it as a bad
Yeah,
thing.
it's not. Yeah, it's not a bad thing, you know.
It sounded like you were giving it the honor that it deserves and needs to
Yeah,
have. Absolutely.
yeah, you know.
It
But
meaning the nature of it, not it meaning, or it meaning the relationship, not
right,
it meaning anything. Yeah.
right. But no, then that's the reason why I wanted to really kind of dig into like the different types of attraction, right? And what type of situations we find ourselves in based on the type of attraction, right? There's that soulmate attraction, right? Twin flame attraction, karmic lover attraction, right? And you know, like I said, that soulmate attraction is, I think that's really what ideally what people, like I said, I think most people lie to themselves. They lie openly, right?
What are they lying about?
Who's gonna reject their soulmate if their soulmate walked into their life and they knew it, and
Um,
they
when
knew
they would. Okay, okay, okay. Then nobody. I don't think anybody would.
nobody. Come on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, who are we all kidding here,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, um,
Oh wait, are people out there saying that they would? I mean, is this like a thing?
no, well, well, yeah, it is kind of a thing, right? Because people talk. So, for example, you ever hear, look, it's on both sides, right? Like dudes and chicks. You know, I don't need no chick, but like, let
Oh, I see what you mean.
they don't need it, right? They quote unquote don't need this person. Like this chick doesn't need a dude, this dude doesn't need a chick, but somehow on Saturday nights they find themselves like right in DMs, and the next thing you know, Netflix and chilling, and then in the bedroom doing man and woman shit in the bed, right? But I guess you don't need that.
Ah, see, I now I totally get what you're saying. I thought
Yeah.
when you were saying that people were saying that they were actively like rejecting the joining of just general joining, but what you're talking about is like bitter people. And I always just look at them as that. Like at first, I would say like when I first started to hear that kind of thing and realize that was something that people really adopted as like their character or like something that they really associate with.
Hmm.
I would say probably like not too late in life, probably like late teens, right? And it's like the jaded people or the bitter people of the world. And at that point, once you first compartmentalize those people into their little folder, there, you're like you don't necessarily crown everybody with that terrible crown, but you definitely recognize it when it's there. Probably like really quickly because you've seen so many instances of it. But I think that's a lot of people, maybe the majority, right?
Yeah.
So I never took those people when they're talking about, oh, they don't need a woman or niggas ain't shit or whatever people are saying, right? I never took that as like them rejecting soulmates. I took that as them displaying how hurt or upset they've been in previous situations where that was required. And I always took it like, yeah, those same people, if their soulmate or someone they thought would come along, they would be the first ones. They'd be even more than the regular, more
I was
practical
gonna
people.
say, yeah, I mean, you talk all that shit, but then when faced with it,
Uh,
right?
I'm listening. I gotta go check the door. One of my babies are barking real quick. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
All right, no problem.
Wait, she's back in the room. I guess everything's cool. But I'm gonna just open the door just to make sure. I'll be right back.
Okay, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, to speak to what real life's talking about, like, yeah, and I noticed this. Um, it's sort of like you'll hear this sort of, it's sort of like this dualistic message, right? It's like on the one hand, oh yeah, I'm perfectly single all by myself, da, 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 this, and that. And any rationally thinking human adult is like, you get horny, shut up. Are you serious? Like, come on, you do that. And then sure enough they do, right? So there's a lot of heavy posturing when it comes to a lot of that. And what real life was saying was, very, very true. There's a lot of guards and a lot of blockages that are up that forces, I don't want to say forces people, it causes people to say these type of things, but deep down they don't actually believe it,
Mm-hmm. I'm
right?
back.
They don't.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they don't actually believe it, you know.
We all had the choice to become the choices probably a few different times to become that bitter person. But then again, I don't know. I like to say that because I feel like that's just what life is about, right? Like people just being offered the same types of situations and you decide what to do with them. But a lot of times though, like the stuff that people have dealt with, there is not familiar to me. Like I'm in the sense that I've seen it and I'm not brand new, but not personally. like, people like women who talk about like being cheated on all over the place, and I'm like, how can you? I don't say this to them because these are conversations that you have very early on, and I understand now, but like, there's no way that a person is sharing an actual relationship and people are cheating on people. Okay, this is something where at least one of the two parties knows what the deal is. It's just a matter of how far they decide to proceed. And that's clear because there have been several times where I see, I'm like, listen, I'm about to start walking down a path with somebody I have no business walking along, and I'm about to be out. And then you just got to be out. But it's not easy because everybody wants, everybody likes the best friend experience, and I'm an only child, so it's like a lot of times when people and I bond, it's like this serious kind of like thing, like I've said several times before. And I think a
Hmm.
lot of it has to do with like the upbringing. It's like just a depth of experience. And because that's not something that your average person is willing to share or be able to even exude, right? Like most people are just so guarded and so upset. And as they have a right to be, man. I'm not even judging it, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's not my experience, and it's not what I've decided to do with my experiences. And there are many people who also feel the same way, but we're not the majority. And I think a lot of times in those type when you cross paths and things like this, people start to feel like things are a little bit heavier than they need to be. And depending on a person's experiences, that would be a great thing or a really scary thing. And I think these are where the clashes come in. So this can cloud the twin flame experience, for
Yeah.
especially that one, but it can also cloud the soulmate experience. And that's a little bit more upsetting because people start to play their old tapes, as the saying goes, right? And
Hmm.
they're doing it in places where they shouldn't do that. It's fine to do that in the twin flame situation because, fuck them, right? But like,
Well, I don't know. You think so? You think so?
I mean, it's not that serious, because no matter what, the two people are still going to be keeping in contact, right? It's just something they almost can't help but to do. And the
Man,
soulmate will not only understand that, but can also partake in that in other situations. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, hey, we got Miss A in the house. How you
Hey,
doing? Yeah, Miss A is in the house. Good morning.
good
Well,
morning.
yeah, it's good morning because it's after midnight here.
Hello.
So, uh, I I don't know. I'm like okay. It's actually one of the hardest things to do as like kind of like an introverted dude is okay. That's kind of hard finding the compatible chick to be in a relationship with when you're a dude and you're introverted, right? Because most chicks they want to kind of be out there for the most part. They want to kind of be out there doing
They
things
want
and
to
all
be
this.
out there.
Huh?
You said they want to be out there.
Like be out there meaning that um, you
You
know.
just broke up. I didn't hear the words.
Oh, okay. No, when I say be out there, meaning like, okay, let's go here, let's go here,
Oh
let's go
yeah, yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. Okay, got you.
Be out there, like let's go, do all this. And I'm
Guess
like,
what?
yeah, I'm like a dude who literally, well, within reason. But dude, I'll just crack bruise and like smoke weed in the garage and just work on shit, right? And I
Right.
I'll just be in that, and I'm cool with that. Now I do have a child, so when she's just like, "Daddy, I want to go get some ice cream. I want to go do that." Oh, okay, babe, we'll go do that, right?
Hmm.
But that's my child, right? I think though, when it comes to say like a dating thing and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna be real with you. I am boring as fuck, and that's another reason why I don't do it because that's pretty much gonna be dead in the water with most chicks who are looking for fun and excitement. I'm like, you know what, dude? Between my partners in Michigan and Canada, and then I got some in China and over here. Listen, I ain't got time for all that shit. And I'm going on 45 fucking years old. That time is over. It really is. It's over. I have like a
No,
whole,
I feel you.
I have a whole 10-year-old daughter. Okay, who's going on 25 herself.
I didn't even know like people were even still on that shit. It's so funny because this is the second thing you've said that I keep forgetting. Oh yeah, we're completely having a completely different experience, and we're expressing that because, yeah, to you, dating means, yo, do I about that. Like I'm never thinking about that. And it's not that I don't think about it in the sense that, oh, he, niggas better buy everything or whatever. Like I'm not even on it like that. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I definitely think that the proper order of things is for the man is obviously expected to do that. And I'm really, as much as it might seem like the cosmopolitan, I guess, I don't know, je ne sais quoi thing to do, I'm not going to be offering, hey, you want to go half? That's really weird. Like,
No, it's yeah, no, no, no. I'm not
like,
saying no. It is no. It's totally normal.
strange as fuck.
No, it's totally normal for it to be exactly what you're saying, right? It's just that I never dated. Literally, dude, I've never taken
Wait,
it.
you broke up. Why does this keep happening?
What?
I didn't hear you. You said it's totally normal, and then
Oh
you
no, no, no. I say okay. What you're saying is totally normal. What I'm saying is me personally. I like, dude. The only chick I've ever like taken out on a date was like my wife.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's because I never like did dating as a practice. It was like once her and I were in a relationship, we went out and we just did the whole date night thing, right? I kind of did it like backwards. It was just like okay, we got together and then I went out on dates, right? But I didn't do the dating thing before because I always thought that was just weird.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just thought I
But
don't
like,
know.
it's just the funny thing is that it's the perspective is just what's funny because, like, talking about dating and talking about bonding or talking about soulmates and these things, I forget that, like, things like, hey, am I doing this or I forgot about the roles. Like, but when I'm hearing your perspective, I'm completely reminded of the roles. And of course, that's very realistic.
Yeah,
It's I almost forgot about it until you were bringing that up. But yeah, like no, so I just see how like it's the same idea. Like, the idea of like, what are people looking for and what's matching and what's not matching. That's all the same. But the idea of the duty part of it, that's funny because from my perspective, I never even think of duty in any of that or what's expected. I'm just thinking not. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm.
honestly. And I think that that's very much, I forget that things are somehow purely gender based. And if anything, that would be certainly one of those things. Come here.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's the other part that kind of makes it very strange, especially for like me, because I don't really. Okay, here's what I'm not gonna try to do is I'm not gonna try to like work with all that gender crap because I'm thinking that it's pretty simple. So yeah, I don't even want to go down that slippery slope of having to have these woke conversations and I'm like, dude, I don't even have to have the conversation with my daughter. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, dude, she's got her head on straight. There's no reason why I should be sitting across the table with a woman who's, probably 15, 20 years her elder. And I'm having to explain things to her that I don't even have to explain to my daughter, right? Like, just, no, no.
But that's the, like, and that's an even other, that's like the remix on, so okay, let's take the first part, right, which is that you and I are talking about, what the levels of connection are basically, right?
Mhm.
Twin flames, karmic,
This karmic lover, twin
right,
flames, and
and
soulmates.
soulmates, right? But then also bringing it into like, and I'm saying that your explanations of your experience really do point to roles, and I'm like, damn, to me it sounds like so much work. And I'm not saying on your behalf specifically. I'm saying it shouldn't really be that way, right?
It shouldn't.
For
No,
me,
it's not. Honestly, dude, it's not. It really isn't. When
let
you're
me
on the soulmate level, you're not.
right, but let me say this last part is that that's what is expected and propagated a lot, and I get that, and that's the part that is almost like that cycle that should not continue, right? Because when two people are meeting up, it shouldn't be about what somebody's doing or what somebody's not doing, but that's on both people's parts, right? So it's not thinking that way because you have to, right? But there's still a certain other agreement that has to go along with it. Where then, also even the part about, well, what am I supposed to not expect to do or not, and like things change with that and the updated part of that, really it should only be about, are two people getting along or not. And on both sides, there's too much pressure. That's the point I'm making. Like, for it to whittle down to that, and I keep hearing that, like, this idea of things boiling down to something that seems so painfully like orchestrated, right?
Hmm.
If two people are getting together of the same sex, they're not thinking about these things, right? And one could argue perhaps that's why people feel comfortable, and that's why these types of relationships are so popular nowadays, because there's way too much pressure on the other part. And it shouldn't be that way. And I'm not saying you're saying it's that way. I'm just saying in the discussion, we can hear a couple things coming out. Like, instead of you getting to, like me, I'm enjoying what I want. I'm here, like, men don't even get to enjoy that. Understand that unless you're hearing what a person's saying from that perspective, from a question that's so innocuously not related to that. That's still where they're thinking about, because as a responsible man, they have to,
Hmm.
right? Completely different experience from a woman who's thinking, well, this is what I have to decide on, which is great, but that's comfortable. But as shouldn't the comfort be enjoyed on both sides? I guess is what I'm saying. And the fact is that it's not, and perhaps that's a part of the contention versus this whole, I don't do the gender thing either, the gender arguing and stuff like that. I think that
Hmm.
that's really strange, and at the same time I understand why people are doing it because of unfamiliar and things that they're coveting, right? But
Yeah.
for people who are not dealing with that, it's just, that should be something that we can both say to each other. That's not really what the other is expecting, right? That's what the popular opinion is saying is being expected, but it's not. Now, yeah, certain things like paying and stuff like that, fine, yes. But in certain things of that being the crux of what you decide, because it's only dinner. What's the big deal? I don't want to do it. But you're thinking, do I really think like this because of that? Do I want to do this? Do I want to put money and energy, like worth into this? It's
Yeah, I
such
was gonna say
a profound
because
experience.
I guess for me, right, if there's an expectation, right, so and I don't take my cues from social media, but if social media does kind of give us some insights, that means that there probably is more of a pervasive mindset, right, in sort of just like your day to day, um, you know, proximate reality, right? So the people that are actually on the ground. Okay, there's a
I
good possibility that
think you just
if you
said
if you
complex.
wait, say that again.
I'm so sorry. I missed everything you just said. I didn't hear you
Okay,
just now.
no, no, you get. I'll repeat it. No, I'm saying that um, you know, y there's you have people who are they have like a social media based perception of their actual reality, and then there's the real world reality, right? And right, and there's a cognitive dissonance between the two. There really is. And because people spend so much time on their phones and, being validated by likes and comments and stuff like that, um, they've gotten more used to receiving that through a digital interface versus like literally in the real world, right? And if you encounter somebody in the real world who gets a lot of the validation from the digital world, what do they tell you to do? Hit up my, join, follow me on my Insta, right? Like, let's not engage here in real life. Follow me on my Instagram, where you can go ahead and just validate me when I post these beautiful pictures of myself with these
Right.
beautiful.
I'm just thinking of you as a number to like add
Yes,
to this thing.
yes, yes. This is kind of what the human relationship experience has largely been reduced to. It's kind of like, hey, defer to my online profile, please. Thank you.
Hmm.
Right now, what happens here is that if you're getting your endorphin releases from, all of the online attention, and you keep directing all of your real world interactions to your online profiles, well, what kind of true real world engagement do you actually get?
Right.
Quality real world engagement, right? Look, people are devoid of actual exchanges and conversations going forward. This is the reason why this whole gender war shit is a thing. There's
Yes.
literally there's no communication whatsoever.
It's really lame. And
Hmm.
I noticed that, like, speaking, I used to be a lot more open with speaking with people on YouTube. Like, if I just happen to stumble into a thing and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool, I just jump on a panel, like, hey, let's talk about it. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's so different here. And, a lot of people are really crazy and really weird and desperate. And it's just, and I don't mean desperate in any one sense, I mean just generally speaking.
No, just generally,
Yes.
like just lost, lost in this world, dude. Don't know about where gas prices are gonna go. Don't know about this inflation stuff. Don't know about a lot of things. You're just lost.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And it's really
and then
uncomfortable.
lost. Hmm.
It's really uncomfortable.
You said it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's an interesting statement that
There's
you make,
audio
right?
trouble again.
No, I'm saying that's an interesting statement that you make, right?
Yeah.
Because as a guy, basically, what we have to do as men, we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable,
Hmm.
right? Because that's just kind of what we have to do as men. At the end of the day, like we don't have like the type of safety nets most people have in society, right? Especially as black men, you ain't got shit.
Hmm.
So get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So I exist in a state. I don't even want to say of uncomfortableness. I just exist in a state of being.
Right.
I get sleep when I can. When I gotta get my ass up, I get my ass up. As tired as I am, as grumpy as I might be, or whatever. If I gotta do some shit, I gotta do it. It just is what it is,
Hmm.
right? Um, but that's like a very realistic approach to life, right? Like you have to kind of just deal with the mud sometimes, or oftentimes. Everything is not a fucking Instagram post, in Ibiza, on the white sand beaches and all that. That life isn't like that every fucking day.
Right.
It just simply isn't.
And even when they are in Ibiza and on the Galapagos Islands and all that shit, they're still them, right? So it's still the same place.
There's as soon as the camera is off, they're all depressed and shit, trying to figure out where they're gonna get the money to go to the
Yeah, because a lot
next
of the fun
spot.
is happening off the camera.
Would you say?
A lot of the fun is happening off the camera. You know what I mean? A lot of experiences are happening not in whatever the fuck people are doing over there.
Dude, it's what do they say? What do they say? Like they say that you experience life when no one's looking, or something like that. It's like this saying,
Okay, yeah.
right? Like you truly experience life when no one's looking, or something
That
like that.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And this is probably said even before this era of the selfie and all these things or whatever's going on. But like even those are not true. How many times have you seen? I pride myself on really like not feeling comfortable in things. At first, I felt it was like especially when it first started, there was a lot of pressure to like do things like use filters and like
Uh oh. Wait. Hey, wait. Repeat what you just said. It cut out.
okay, I was saying
You said something about using filters.
yeah, there was a lot of pressure to do things like that, use filters and like, always be on Instagram and social media and stuff like that. And at one point, for people who didn't feel comfortable doing that, who tried it, like, I would try it and I would say, okay, like, I remember when Instagram was just like a changing of it was literally filtering a photo. It was like if you took a picture, you gave it like, they had like old fashioned, indigo, like they had different names
Hmm.
and you could give it a color shade or something. But then it became that. And so I remember thinking, well, and people were like, no, it's good for business. Like I heard all these people justifying it. So I said, well, let me go ahead and try it in terms of whatever I was doing at the time. And it was so lame and corny. And like, I in no way feel that I don't understand why people, can use it for that. I get that. And I also get why people like it. But personally, I just found it to be extremely vapid and disgusting. And like, it was like, okay, So I take, let me get the idea here. So the idea is that I'm popping if I decide to take a lot of pictures of myself or things that I'm doing, but the whole time I'm supposed to act like, wait a minute, I'm too cool for you guys to like know what I'm doing. Like it just doesn't make any sense. And personally, the natural feeling is I don't want you all to know. I don't want everybody to know what I'm doing. I think it's great. Everybody loves positive feedback. But when you actually experience it on your own essence, you don't really enjoy putting it up to things. And let me give you another example. When you lose a loved one, right? Like people like to announce these things on social media, and people like to it only took me losing an animal friend and being a very young person when all this stuff was extremely new, and just kind of thinking like, well, they were there on my journey when this was happening, when I was dealing with the illness of said living creature who was my friend. And now this living creature has transitioned, and I feel like, yes, I do have to announce it. Even the people that loved me, even the people that cared about the whole situation, it was never satisfying, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
whatever I would.
you post it and then it's like you get 2 likes and you're like, damn, you guys don't care about my animal friend that passed on. It's disappointing.
Oh, hey, they're saying things and it's just so orchestrated. And the whole thing is like, I never even really, like, I just felt that this is what people do. Like, I was trying it. Like, and when I got the feedback, I realized how much it wasn't for me, if,
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Yeah. And I was just like, and it was very loving and it was a lot, but it was still not what I was looking for. Like, I was literally putting something on display that didn't need to be on display. And that was when I was like, this is not my thing. But a lot of us, we're fortunate that we're the age that we get to make those decisions because we're old enough at that time when that shit was starting to pop off that we get to make those decisions. Imagine
yeah,
people who are like
we
12 at
can
the time.
yeah, we're more discerning, right? Like I'm gonna tell you right now. I can't remember the last time I posted on Instagram. The last time I posted on Facebook, don't know. Don't have a Twitter. The only thing I really post on is YouTube, and even then, I'm just showing you a bunch of damn plants most of the time, right? Unless unless we're doing this type of live stream. So I really don't have much of a social media imprint for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm perfectly fine with sharing what I do share because it's really it's enough for me to be comfortable with it because it's not a whole lot. But when it is something, I do at least try to share something that you could take away from, right?
Right.
If I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna just talk about some plants or something. But that's pretty much it. Like
Mhm.
I am so not on social media to like what do they say, clout chase. Um,
Right.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not here for that.
Totally. And it's crazy because I feel you, like me either. And then like also it's so weird how like when you start to make associations with people, just because that naturally would happen, right? People start to bounce these turns off and it's like, damn, like the consciousness of already like it reveals itself. But also like there's something so pure about the origin of it, and then people turn it into this whole weird shit. Like because they fixate. At least that's been my experience here. Like the fixation of people and the lies. Like, yo, even on this channel here, the person who encouraged me to come here to your channel, when I first saw you guys were like,
This is crazy. I can't believe you told me this.
yeah, and I really want to like. My mind went to it again, so like, fuck it, I'm gonna bring it up. Like, so you guys came over to Nyland Taz's channel, and like everything was cool, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I even like the name. So the person who was like, okay, it happened later on. This is so first impression. So then later on, the same person was like, yo, such and such, Black Brain shows, da da da. I'm like, cool. So I came through, and then like she was like, you would really like this channel. So because it was said in such a friendly tone, I was like, yeah, I remember them from Nyla and Taz's channel. I was like, I'm gonna come through. And then all of a sudden I found out from Nyla actually that this same person was saying that I was trying to usurp your channel and that I'm always coming on your lives and shit like that. And it's like,
That's crazy.
I
That wasn't true.
thank you. And like, I know I don't even, I'm not even like asking you to say that, even though I,
No, no, it's just not. For the record, it's not.
and I appreciate you saying that. But it was such a ridiculous thing. And I was like, yo, you're the fucking person who told me that I would like what's going on here. You were right, actually. And I
Hmm.
even told her, I was like, yo, good looking out. I was like, because you were right. And this was in the midst of being so attacked by some rabid, like, psycho bitch on YouTube who like wanted to dox everybody and they mamas. And it was like, it
It
was such
seems like there's always some psycho bitch that's trying to do that.
they're trying to destroy
It
me.
seems like every week there's one, and I don't know why they're popping up in my goddamn YouTube feed. But I'm like, who is this bitch?
And I was like,
What
yo.
is this?
And to this day, she probably doesn't even know that I know, even though she's probably listening like the ear hustler that she is.
Oh
But
god, oh god.
it's just
You
crazy
still
because
haven't told me, and you know what? Don't tell me.
okay, first letter. I'm not gonna tell you, but the first letter is K.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Shut up.
And I'm like, you heathen! Like,
All
how
right, all
dare
right.
you?
Anyway, okay. I'm gonna, you know what? Just let's leave it right there.
Yeah. So anyway, that was anyway, people are crazy up on here. But anyway, the whole point was she and I knew each other from another panel. And that was my first YouTube. I was like, oh, this sounds like a cool conversation. Oh, there's a link. Let me so like, we regularly were on the same panels and stuff like that.
Right.
And you just think it's regular and then it just becomes something extremely strange.
Well, look, let's do this. I know it's what almost 4 a.m. where y'all at.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you get to bed.
Okay.
are you, are you good? It's like, yeah, I'm like, it's like, I took a nap a little while ago, and so I don't know. I think I'm just gonna be up for a while, but I don't want to keep you up. And we, I think over the course of the conversation, we covered like the soulmates, twin flames, karmic lovers, right? The
Mhm.
three different types of attractions, right? And as we do, we digressed and went into a bunch of other stuff, right? Which I'm totally fine with.
Cool.
Uh, but I want to be mindful of your time because it's going on like 4 a.m. where you're at, I think.
Yeah, it's 3:59.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I'll probably just kick it for maybe like I'll just stay up for like another hour and then I'll try to take my ass to bed. But let me ask you this: do you have um I don't want to say any last words or anything like that, but do you have maybe like what would be like your take on this conversation, right? In terms of like the different types of attraction, right? The karmic lover, the twin flame, and the soulmate.
Okay, so I would say that they overlap a lot, and I think that there's a common thread in all three, which is connection.
Hmm.
And so I think that that's displayed all the time everywhere. And those are the fairies. That's the beautiful part, right? That's the nice part. And so in terms of whoever's jaded or whoever's upset, I get that, but at the same time, those things I think overrule that. That would be one part of it, and then the other fork would be that even the way the conversation went here, determining like what were commonalities, things like that, like it comes up a lot, and I think a lot of social media is attractive because of that, and it turns into something else, which is kind of where we ended, and that shouldn't be because the only reason that would happen is because people are too lonely. Stop being so lonely.
Hmm.
To just literally just be open and heal because a lot of times the whole root of loneliness is the facade. It's the
Right.
idea that somebody is not going through or has not gone through what the obvious like implication is what you have gone through or what the person has gone through, or that only your experience is unique. there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing unique, right? The only unique thing is how we express it and how it bounces off the mouth and tongue of somebody else to the ear of another into the heart. Like that's the only difference. Everything else is the fucking same. Get over yourself. Stop doxing people unless you want to get hurt. That's about it.
Oh my god. It was just like, yeah, yes, with that being said, get over yourself, stop toxic people. Shit. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. No,
Thank
no,
you. And I
seriously,
want to
seriously.
thank you
No,
for having me.
seriously, like I'm literally of the same page, right? I don't think uh I don't think communication is difficult, right? I don't think honest communication is difficult. Um we did it when we were kids, right? Before we got programmed with a bunch of shit. I remember being a kid, the schoolyard and stuff, and like just blabbering out shit and just saying stuff
Mm,
because we were kids, right? You know what I mean? So there was a time when our communication was honest and pure, and it came from the heart. And there's so much of this social programming stuff. And like I said, for me, um, it's been more of like a third party observation type of thing because it's coming from being married and I was widowed, and I just observed and just kind of saw how things had changed a lot. And that's a lot of that even gives me the inspiration for a lot of these conversations when I do the Sapio stuff. These are just things that I observe and I see. Sometimes it might be a singular topic, sometimes it's more of like a concept or just an idea, right? But
yeah.
I just noticed that a lot of people, their interactions, they don't really just form those organic communications, those organic bonds, those organic interactions, which like lead to organic relationships. It's just way too prima facie, right? To
Mhm.
be true, and I think that's just ultimately everybody's doing themselves a disservice by not being true to themselves and
Yes,
true to others.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. 100% agree. What number are you on the month of A?
Wait, say that again.
What's your number on the birth date?
What's my number? What
Yeah,
did you say? My birthday?
yeah.
Oh, August 16th.
Okay, that's Madonna's birthday too. It's funny.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also
I'm on the 5th.
yeah, that's right, because we're both Leos. You're the fifth.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the 16th. That was when Elvis died. I
Oh,
was I was I was born on the day he
oh,
died. Yeah, August 16th, 1977.
okay. That's interesting because that happens a lot in August. I think the Marilyn Monroe person was
Yeah,
passed away on my birthday as well. That's funny.
I don't know. It's that whole sun sign thing, man.
Yeah. It's funny because, I've really never met a Leo that I didn't like. There was one Leo that I didn't quite really vibe with, but I wouldn't say I didn't like her because actually it's funny because she and I went to high school together, and then like there was just some like my best friend really hated her and she hated my best friend. Then we bumped into each other in graduate school,
Hmm.
and she was the receptionist in the clinic. So when I began my internship, she was like, "Are you?" And so I'm like, "Yeah." So she was like, "Do you hate me?" It was
Oh,
so bizarre. It was
fuck.
literally like the third question she asked me, and I was like, "No, I don't." And
Wait, what? Wait, what? Like, what? Why would you? That's like the weirdest question to ask somebody.
it
Hey,
made
do you hate me?
Nah, it made sense in the context of like what happened, and also I was being kind of cold with her, and like since we had a lot of overlaps in high school, the fact that I was being cold, I think she felt comfortable. But that's that Leo thing, like
Well,
she
that with hate, right? Like it's when do you dislike me? Totally, yes, I do.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Right,
that's
but
true.
but
She
like
could have
but
said
like,
that.
do I hate
All
you?
right.
No, I don't hate. So that's pretty strong. It's
So
pretty
she's
strong.
like Korean American, so maybe like words for like disdain were kind of limited, but I think the idea was is that she was
Did you just make it the fact that she's Korean?
no, just that English is her second language, Like so since she doesn't have like the origin of our language to just be able to choose from words, I think that has something to do with it. But like
Uh,
it was just more so that I think
no,
she
that's
wanted
true,
to see
right?
like
Like she'll just think like, yeah, hate you hate me. It's like, whoa, dude, wait,
right, right, right,
we have other
like,
word, we have less, we have less. Like, whoa. Okay, hate it's a little strong. Okay, maybe extremely dislike. Yeah, sure. Hate? No.
like how
I
many
don't
points
hate
does that
anybody.
equal on the said, right?
I listen. I don't hate
So,
anybody. Do I do I despise your fucking guts? Absolutely. Hate though, it's a little much.
so like on page 10, hate is like 10. you know, like hate is like the extreme.
That
But
is legit, dude. Like, come on.
considering like what an asshole she was in high school, it was a completely legit real piece of like
I guess right.
terrible.
I guess maybe there was a moment of self awareness, right? She was just like, you know what? I've been such an asshole. She probably really does legit hate me. So
And like she could
that
never
means
play
her
that shit with me
asking
because
you.
like I the we it is what it is. But like her and my friend really hated each other. And so like anyway, long story short, she ended up having like a fight with a third friend of mine, and my third friend beat her ass.
Okay, she's a bitch. Okay,
It was caught on camera and everything. This is like back in like
what's
'95.
her
We
problem?
weren't even taping shit back then. What?
I said, what's her problem?
She's a fucking asshole. She's a July Leo. Okay, that's her problem.
Wait,
So
she's the, wait. Wait. Okay, so that's
the plot thickens.
July Leo's her problem. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, she's like from a completely
You're
different
gonna
planet.
start a whole new fucking YouTube beef, a Zodiac beef. You know,
It's
real life said that, July Leos.
it's better.
Because people are YouTube
They're
beefing
already
about any
going
fucking
on.
thing nowadays. They will legit beef about anything.
They're seriously trying to tell people that like mixed people are trying to bogart their way into like we have this
What? Wait,
militia.
whoa. What? Say that again. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
apparently I'm just getting to understand this like recently that apparently we have this militia, but it's
Uh
an
huh.
unarmed militia, right? But it's like a social media militia. So basically we're like really Debo and
You
like
guys are armed with
bullying.
talking points,
Like
basically.
we have any weapons. And so we're trying to impose ourselves on black spaces is like the ongoing commentary
Wait, should I kick
by
you off
some
of this
really
channel right
angry
now? You're on the Black Brain Trust, you biracial.
they say the biracials. They put an S at the end of it.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god.
yo, I'm serious. It's like people that I actually thought were human are talking like this. I'm like, yo, you can't be serious.
They
The
are
so
serious.
if I started talking about the blacks and the whites, like I would sound like Conrad Bain or whatever his name is.
Wasn't this what the fuck? How did we just get transported back to the goddamn what is it, the 50s and the 60s? Wait,
Ron is high.
colors, whites, blacks, and colors, and
Listen, listen. I didn't understand it. Like
shit.
I thought I heard it all.
No. You know what? I think just give it a couple days and you'll be surprised. Right, every single day when you think you've heard it all, just give it a couple days. Yeah, yeah. Your level of surprise will be eclipsed by a new level of what the fuck.
But
Okay.
it's only on YouTube, right? I mean, I actually don't participate in other social media like that.
Me
Like,
neither.
yeah,
Because like I have to
I
minimize
used
my
to, but not even that
no.
heavily. I was never heavily into it, but
I gotta minimize my My social media shock.
It's so boring. Like there's no reason to do it. Like I'd be looking like I saw like on your birthday you get messages and stuff like that. So you get all these email influxes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I don't say anything, I'm so rude. Like these people are so nice. Like they wish me a happy birthday. Like we haven't spoken this whole year. They're just so I feel like I have to say thank you. Like so then I get sucked into the vortex. I'm like, ooh, that's a
But
nice.
look, but how about this? How about so like let's just say you decide to take the pragmatic route and you go, well, you know what I'll do is I'll just make one post just saying thank you everybody, right? So that you don't have to do it individually because everybody, right?
Yeah,
But then you do the one post and everybody's like, look at this self-grandizing jackass right here. Oh, it's your birthday, and you're just like, okay, well, wait a minute. I was actually trying to just do like this public thing, so then it's like you cannot win.
that's funny. I did try that actually. That came naturally. It wasn't even like a plan, but what you said is totally it fits. And I was like, this makes sense. That way everybody can know, like, yo, since y'all clocked
Yeah.
my birthday, like, let me just say this. And it was okay. Nobody accused me of being an asshole or anything.
Okay.
I, I felt like when people responded on that post, then I now had a secondary, like, set of responsibilities. And that's the part that this is why I can't work with it because it's too much pressure. Like, I don't feel comfortable with loose ends, and so social media leaves a lot of those things. And like my OC, which is just obsessive compulsive,
Hmm.
very fun and happy, it becomes OCD when it starts to come into this other thing with social media. And I can't like it's very I don't I refuse to have like my behavior on social media conflict with anything that really is actually me. And it's just been and I noticed that's not really compatible with what a lot of people are doing here, but I
Hmm.
think that's still okay.
No, no, no. Listen, it's not about doing what because a lot of people are doing a lot of stupid shit, right? So, if I'm not compatible with stupid shit, I'm perfectly okay with that, right? So,
Mhm.
because I can't get with a majority of the conversations. I just really I can't. I'll give it like
Mhm.
5 minutes, and then I'm just like, okay, I just felt two brain cells just seep out of my ear. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop right now. Right? And
Do you think
that's kind
with
of where I leave it. You know.
conversation?
Hmm.
Have you felt that way with manosphere conversations?
Wait, you said have I felt that way with what?
Manosphere conversations?
Yeah, that's been since 2018. That's why we created this channel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that we no, we felt that way back then. So that's why we did this channel, and then we started doing what we were doing over here because everybody, it was just like, dude, like think about it, right? Like we started this channel in 2018. We just did our 4 year anniversary last month in April. We've got close to
Congratulations.
800 videos, and I would say that like out of all of that, we've had a couple businesses that started up. We've got a lot of things going on,
That's
right? That have
awesome.
springboarded out of this channel, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then when I go and look at the other places in the manosphere, or whatever, it's literally a replay of the same shit over and over. It's just that Kevin Samuels is no longer here. Rest in peace to him. So it's really kind of like the same replay, and I'm just kind of like, damn, you guys are going nowhere fast.
Very, very stagnant.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the birth of it. It's funny, you can only see in terms of like people in their just cyclic discourse the birth of something stagnant. It's completely an oxymoron or a misnomer or whatever. But like the idea of stagnancy gave birth to a conversation about why things are stagnant, and then the conversation became a blame game on this is the reason why things are stagnant. This is the reason why. So at first I don't even know. I mean, because I came to YouTube around the same time your channel did, but I was not familiar with anything prior to that. So
Hmm.
from what I understand, there was like this evolution from this idea of like we're all in the same gang, like in the song, but on the terms of because we're the same color or the same gender or the same lesbian. It was just way too robotic, and I'm all for solidarity with ethnicity, race. I'm all for that. As a matter of fact, I appreciate that. at the same time, there's you can't use people can't use that just because it sounds good for whatever they're saying. And the same thing goes for gender. It's easy to see that in strange because when I was on social media, I heard people asking the question, what do you identify with more? Like, are you first a woman, or are you first black, or are you mixed? And these questions were odd. Just like in high school, the first time I ever heard, do you feel black or white? It was like, what? Like these weird questions that like nobody is really experiencing those.
Yeah.
We're not experiencing these choices, and nobody is really posing these questions to people in real life. So, in terms of these questions that people are posing on like these conversations, if the conversation is spurned from something that doesn't make sense, then everything thereafter doesn't make
It
sense.
does make sense. Exactly. That's why like a lot of the conversations are pointless to me, and that's why I'm not. You won't see me in the chats. You won't see me on the panels. You won't see me on arguing people about shit that legit does not make any sense. I would
Mm-hmm.
prefer to like literally come up with a topic, email you, and say, "Hey, you want to talk about this?"
Mm-hmm.
This is actually something like we can, get to talk about. There's actually some things we can, you know, dissect and dive into versus, well, this is how I feel, and this is what the past has been, and this is why things are the way they are. And truth be told, listen, I was born in 1977, so anything prior to that, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, right? It's
Right.
only there's only been what I've been able to do as an adult when I got to the time when I could kind of start doing something in the world. You know what I mean? I'm literally of today. I'm present. I'm here, right? I'm not of the past. I understand the past, but I'm not of it, right? I
Absolutely.
understand that actually there's a future that I have to be focused on because I have a little one, right? I have a little one. And not only that, but it's just her cohorts and the kids in general, man. It's like our whole point, our roles here as we get older as adults is that we are literally supposed to be leaving this place better than what it was when we got here for them
Exactly.
so that they can do the same thing, right? So I just
Exactly.
feel as though it's just wasting time arguing for hours upon hours literally gets us nowhere, right? That's just how I feel ultimately.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's do this real life. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Any last words, sweetie?
Nope. Thanks for having me. Always good to speak with you and talk with you soon.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you joined me for this one.
Thank you.
Because like I said, your presence was requested, and I think people are gonna dig this one on the playback. It's late, so there's not a lot of people listening. But typically, what happens is that I'll see the numbers like creep up over like the next day because they'll catch.
Nice.
Yeah, because we go live weird times. So but okay. All right. Well, look, let's do this. I'll hit you up for the next one. I have a few other ideas for some. I know Rael's got some live stream some topics. He has a heavy one. I'm gonna ask him when he's ready to do it. It's one called Psyche.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be like basically like a psychological deep dive. It's gonna be a deep dive on psychology, right? So we've got tons of books, passages, stuff we're gonna be reading, dissecting. I would love for you to join us on that one as well.
Sounds great. Thank you for the invite, and I will definitely be there if I
Okay.
if I see it.
Okay. All right. No, I'll hit you up. I'll let you know.
Or just email me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll email you. I'll let you know.
Okay. Your my I don't know what's going on with my thing. I only heard part of it, but I heard you say you would email me. Cool. Yeah,
No, no,
definitely.
I said yeah. I said I'll email you for that one.
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
Talk to you later. Good
Okay.
night.
All right. Good night. All right, y'all. Hey, appreciate you guys for rolling through. It was really good chopping it up when this real life is not in cyberspace. If you guys are not subscribed to her channel, please go and subscribe to her channel. She's somebody who comes through, contributes here. I greatly appreciate her contributions. And I would also greatly appreciate if you guys went and subscribed to her channel. And with that being said, please like and subscribe if you haven't to this channel. And we may be back tomorrow or this morning. I don't know how you want to call that, whatever, because it's 1:20 and 1:21 a.m. But there is a live stream I do have planned for tomorrow. We'll just see how I feel, man. But we're gonna do it. Let's just put it in the air. It is going to go down. It is a esports live stream. It is a hot lap battle between myself and Kata Otto. Please be sure to check that out. Good night to you, Mr. Real Life, and good night to everyone else out there. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.